Hi, welcome back to Reddit Stories. I'm Shane.
I'm Shane.
I'm Shane.
I'm Shane.
And today's theme. Am I the asshole for accidentally ruining my girlfriend's career?
Oh, let's go.
Okay, buddy. Hi, everyone. I'm in a tough spot right now, and I'm not sure if I'm the asshole or not. My girlfriend, 27, let's call her Sarah, and I, 26, have been together for 3 years. She's always been passionate about her job as a teacher and has worked really hard to build up her career. However, a few weeks ago, I accidentally stumbled upon some photos of Sarah on Instagram that I had never seen before. There were pictures of her in some very revealing clothing, and some of them were even nude. I was shocked and confronted her about it, and she told me that she used to be a lingerie model before becoming a teacher. She said she stopped doing it because she didn't want it to affect her career, and she thought I knew about it already. I didn't know how to react at first, but eventually I told a few of my friends about it. One of my friends is a gossip, and ended up telling someone who works at the school where Sarah teaches. Long story short, the photos somehow got into the hands of the school board, and Sarah was fired for unprofessional behavior. Sarah is devastated and blames me for ruining her career. She says that I should have kept my mouth shut and that I betrayed her trust. I feel terrible about what happened, but I didn't know that it would lead to this. Am I the asshole for accidentally ruining my girlfriend's career? There's an update. Hello, this has been a stressful day, but I do want to provide an update. Firstly, Sarah and I are still together. I have taken full responsibility for my actions and am doing everything I can to help her financially until she finds a new job. She would be on her own if she decided to dump me, so the best I can do is to help her for now. Secondly, we are still considering moving to another state since I work remotely. It's been a difficult decision, but we both feel that a fresh start in a new environment could be beneficial for us. Lastly, I wanted to clarify that the photos I stumbled upon were not on Sarah's main Instagram account, but rather an alt account that she had. While this doesn't excuse my actions, I wanted to provide some context to the situation. Never thought the post would blow up, but here we are.
So I wouldn't say it was his fault.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool that he's willing to move states with her to, you know, start over. I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I think he stepped the frick up. And that friend sucks for telling somebody involved in the school.
There's a quote in here that I think stands out. She would be on her own if she decided to dump me. Does feel a little weird.
I was also going to point out that line. Like, it feels like he's almost like, you need to stay with me because you have nothing.
Well, yeah, she just got fired and like she has no job and she's kind of screwed.
Like, this one is not as blatantly obvious as the first situations, which are just like, you should know that you're being an asshole. With this one, it feels more of like, obviously it seems clear like his intention was not to have her lose her job, but maybe his reaction led to him making decisions that he wouldn't have otherwise done if he was in a more rational mindset. Like, sharing with your friends if you're having a problem with your relationship, like, you know, that's fine, I think, you know, getting some advice, but with material that is so sensitive, if it gets out, you know, that kind of stuff, I'm sure had to be discussed between the two of them, and breaching that trust had to be.
Okay, so that is true. So like, if she works a job where having something out there like that is dangerous, then yeah, he shouldn't have told anybody. It should have been agreed upon that, like, this is something that has to stay under wraps because this is my job, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I don't know if they had that discussion.
I think there's some information being left out.
Yes.
And what I really think is being left out is like,
How did
I told
he find them?
I told a few of my friends about it. And
Yeah,
I'm
he
like,
told the bros.
a few of my friends, and he already knew that one of his friends is a gossip, and ended up telling someone who works at her school. I'm like, you knew these connections were there. Like,
That's true.
He's either very dumb or just like, I think, inconsiderate of her. My take on this is that he's more of an asshole than this is appearing, and that he's leaving out information.
Totally, because it's the whole manipulative part of it is that he is the one telling this story. So it's approaching it from his truth.
His point of view.
And the tricky thing, too, with intention is, of course, that's something to consider when, you know, considering if the relationship should stay together. But ultimately, the impact is what we're looking at here. And she lost her job, and that's a huge, huge thing. So it's got to be hard for her to forgive him, I'm sure.
I do think it's really, my personal take is I think that rule is really unfair. Like you know, she was doing a legal job before this, and like the fact that I don't know. It just feels unfair.
Maybe too. Like if she came out with it beforehand, like maybe the school wouldn't have been like as touchy about it. Maybe because they heard it from this outside source that they were like, oh well, if this person found it, the kids could find it. Like anybody might be able to get these photos, and then it became
I think this
more
kind
of a
of
sensitive
thing happens a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it does happen
like,
a lot,
especially in the teaching realm. Like, you know, somebody's like secret, like OnlyFans will come out because like teachers aren't getting paid. OnlyFans pays pretty well.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I don't have any issue with that. And it's like, if they weren't saying like, hi, I'm Miss Wendy, a blah, 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 and here's my titties, like, or my dong, whatever, then I think it's fine. Like it's the parents that are the weirdos that are going and finding these photos.
It sucks because and you know, this is a change that will take, I don't know if it could ever happen, like centuries, but it lends into shaming any, and this is such light, but shaming any form of sex work and being like, yeah, no, you can't work any respectable job. Like, you know, because you're like that. And it's like something she did years ago.
Also, that was just modeling.
I know.
It's like, it's not even sex work.
It's like, but I'm saying like it even touches on that at all is like, it is ridiculous. I do think it's societally something that I hope changes eventually. But like I said, that stuff doesn't change overnight.
Walking it back to the original thing, I'm also just a little sus on how this guy came across these photos because he's like, I stumbled across her secret. And I'm like, did you though?
I think he's a weirdo. Personally. Comment, accidental is a stretch. You can't be so clueless to know you opened up the can of worms that led to this. We have a teacher's contract from 1923. They have to agree not to get married, not to keep company with men, to be at home between the hours of 8 p.m. and 6 a.m. unless at school functions, not to loiter in downtown ice cream stores, not to leave town at any time without the permission of the chairman of the board of trustees, not to smoke cigarettes, not to drink beer, wine, or whiskey, not to ride in a carriage or automobile with any man except her brother or father, not to dress in bright colors, not to dye their hair, to wear at least 2 petticoats, not to wear dresses more than 2 inches above the ankle, to keep the schoolroom clean. Damn. Teachers are held to insane standards and paid absolutely nothing. It's insane.
Wow.
Crazy. Asshole. Moving on.
Might as well, yeah.
Boss didn't believe I have cysts on my ass. Sorry, boss didn't believe I have cysts on my ass.
Pilonidal cysts?
Pilonidal cysts, yeah.
Okay. Some backstory, kind of graphic.
Some backstory.
Oh, baby.
Kind of graphic. Around June of 2022, I started getting this weird pain in my lower back, upper butt area. Kind of right where the seam of your cheeks are.
Yep.
I thought it was because I tend to slouch in my gaming chair and sit on my tailbone. I shouldn't, bad posture, I know. Anyway, I thought it was just sore from that, and I fixed my posture a little bit and took extra care in the shower and cleaning that area, but the pain just kept getting worse. Fast forward a few months and it never stopped. It turned from pain to itchy to pain to nothing at some points. About 2 months ago from writing this, I decided to look in the mirror and see what it was. I couldn't see, so I had to ask my girlfriend to look, LMAO. It was embarrassing to spread my ass cheeks for her, don't get me wrong, lol. When I did though, she noticed what looked like a little hole. Maybe about the size of a pea. And when I say hole, yes, I mean like
buttholes?
And when I say hole, yes, I mean like indented into my skin kind of hole. I won't get more graphic than that, but yes, it acts just like a normal zit, pops, pus, etc. I schedule a doctor's appointment and have them take a look. It's a pilonidal cyst. Actually, not just one, but there are 5.
Jesus Christ.
One big one and 4 other small ones. And with cysts, the only way to get rid of them, and surgically. So I scheduled my surgery. I go in about 2 weeks from the time this posts. Wish me luck. Throughout this time, I had to take a few days off work for doctor's appointments and basically told my boss it's just for a routine appointment. I didn't want to scare them with hey, I might be off work for X amount of weeks just yet. When I got the news I needed surgery, that is when I told him. Now, I do a labor-intensive job in a factory, a lot of moving, lifting, etc., and I'm rather essential in my job. Yeah, I know how to do everything there, and it will suck losing me for 2 weeks. For whatever reason, my boss doesn't believe me to have anything wrong with me and thinks I am just trying to get out of work. Because yeah, who doesn't love 2 weeks of unpaid vacation time? I get home that day and take my clothes off and put my phone on the bathroom counter on a timer. Turn around and spread my ass cheeks and camera click sounds. You can probably see what is going. What this is where the you can probably see.
Send the whole pic. He showed whole.
Turn around, spread my ass cheeks, and camera click sound. You can probably see where this is going. I upload the picture to my computer and print it. I upload
what a boomer.
I upload the picture to my computer and print it off, in black and white of course, and place it into a spare manila folder. Keep in mind, you can't see much below where I wanted him to see because I'm not trying to get fired or anything. I cropped around where I needed to. The next day, I bring in the folder which also has my letter of recommendation from my doctor for surgery. My surgery and at the very back, the last picture he will see is, in all of its glory, my hairy white ass, LMAO. My boss avoided me for a while after I showed him the pictures. However, since then, he has actually not said a word about it and is treating me great. So yeah, well that seemed to work.
He probably, honestly, he probably didn't have to include the picture.
He didn't need to do that.
Yeah, all he needs is a doctor. But
Doctor
you know
note.
what? I think for him not believing him, he gave him the proof. He did give him the proof. There's not much to say, I feel
There's
like.
not much to say, and I'm very triggered. He got those cysts because of his bad posture. Because if you mash that area up and you got a hairy little butt seam,
really?
then the hairs go back inside and they create those little cysts.
No way. I should be
Science
careful.
knowledge. This is tangential, but my mom had to get her gallbladder sucked out of her. You know how you can do that now? They just like take
What? No?
Yeah.
You can't just say a sentence like that.
No, it's true. So it's like if you like all those like little organs that are like fine, like they can make a tiny little hole like in your tummy and they can like go and then go. So my dad was like, I need to take off work because my wife is going like under and getting like surgery, and they're like, we're not gonna do that or whatever. And so he took the time off without it being, paid or whatever. And my dad got like a chicken liver and he put it in a bag and he showed up to work and he's like, here's her gallbladder. Can I get paid for it? Psycho behavior. Love you, Dad, so much.
That's fucking awesome.
That explains so much.
It just feels very similar
Yeah.
to.
Then he grabbed it out of the bag and was like, no, 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 no.
Yeah. I mean, iconic for this guy to print this picture off. Like, that's
Yeah,
cool.
he really, he showed his whole ass. He really bared it all. Okay, there's an update. The ending was that my boss avoided me for a while after I showed him the pictures. However, since then, he has actually not said a word about it and is treating me great. I had my surgery today. It went well. I am home and recovering. I was only nervous because I hate needles, IV needle, but it went smooth. My nurse was awesome. I want to thank everyone for the support that they have given me on my previous upload. And I also had some people reach out to me with them having the same problem. Thank you for that. It made me feel less self-conscious about it. Well, that's great.
I think it's a very common thing, isn't it? Is that what you
common.
learned?
It's not very common, but it's common.
Yeah,
it can happen.
I think just like once you hear of it happening once, you begin to like see way more of it.
See patterns.
See patterns everywhere.
Yeah. Good news for the guy. Once you get that surgery, that whole area is all scar tissue. It's not going to happen again, baby.
Oh,
That's nice.
neat. Okay.
How's the recovery is kind of a pain in the, I almost said a pain in the ass, but like literally like the recovery's like it sucks, right?
Yeah. I don't. It's too graphic. But yeah, you got to just deal with an open situation
wounds.
for like a month and a half.
I'm loving that it's like, he bends over and spreads his cheeks for his girlfriend, and she's like, there's like a hole here. Like, what? Oh my God. That's like some Johnny Bravo logic. Yeah. What? There's a hole there. Oh man, I'm dying. Okay, moving on. Okay, here we go.
Think butt plugs come in a 2-pack? Okay.
Not that one, babe.
Okay, go on.
His bioport.
Okay. Boyfriend won't stop telling me I have BO. This comes from relationship advice.
Okay.
I have been with my boyfriend for over a year and everything has been great except for one thing. Every single day, at least once, he will tell me that I stink and smell of BO. When we met, I showered every day, applied regular deodorant in the morning, brushed my teeth 3 times a day. Now I am so paranoid about smelling bad that I shower at least twice a day. I apply new industrial strength deodorant every few hours. I have a reminder on my phone, perfume, and I brush my teeth anytime I eat or drink something that isn't water. I feel like I'm going crazy. I didn't think I smelled bad in the beginning, and I don't think I smell bad now, but I obviously smell bad to him, right? I'm that weirdo that keeps sneakily smelling their own armpits. I have been to the doctor, and he has said there is nothing medically wrong. It has honestly gotten to the point where I literally shove my armpit in friends' and family's faces asking if I smell bad. They all say I don't smell like B.O. at all. One friend even said I smelled too clean, like a Lush store. I am getting so paranoid. He won't cuddle or anything when he says I smell. I really don't know what more I can do. All right, that's the first post.
Okay.
She just went on to Reddit asking for advice.
Okay.
Her boyfriend every day tells her that she stinks.
Okay, Avi, I'm thinking it's him.
It's definitely him.
Yeah, but
It's
but
his balls
this
or
is,
something. He don't wash them.
But this is Reddit stories.
You think he stinks?
He smells.
And
I
he's
think
smelling
he, it's
himself.
And you think it's his balls?
Well, people don't. Boys don't be washing their balls often enough.
You think what he thinks is his girlfriend's BO is his balls?
Yeah.
Through his jeans, through
Yeah.
everything.
Or
I
just
think-
like his own BO.
Yeah, I think
I've
it's-
done that before. I'm like, oh, you smell bad, and
Yeah.
it's actually me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that's the obvious answer, and this is Reddit stories, and you
Okay.
guys find the craziest shit. So I'm like, what's even crazier than that? Like, what if his nose is fucked or something?
Well, my mom used to cook salmon all the time. She used to put cumin on salmon, and for so long, cumin smelled like BO to me.
Interesting.
For so long, just that one spice, and every time I was like, this house smells disgusting.
Okay.
And it would reek for days. But this is every day.
Okay. So you don't really, you think there's something wrong with his nose?
I just think it's something crazier than just his BO.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I know what happens here because I have read this, but I can tell you what I thought when I initially read it.
Yeah.
You thought it was
I'm
his?
not gonna tell you if it's wrong or not. I thought it was his. I was like, okay, maybe it's something with his nose, and maybe it's something like he needs to go to the doctor and get checked because maybe there's something like you know how I don't know, you know how there's weird symptoms for
Yeah.
certain things, like it's like, oh yeah, my girlfriend smells like BO, and it's like, oh, you have cancer, like
Yeah,
I don't know,
something like that, yeah.
that was my initial thought of just like what is this? So I'm not gonna tell you if I was wrong or not. So here we go.
Maybe this is like psychological.
do you
Maybe he
mean?
gets
Ooh,
off.
I like that. I
Maybe
like
he gets
that.
off on on a woman cleaning herself.
Or just insulting her in general, just like putting her down.
Yeah, it's
Being
more
like,
than
you
his
smell
smell.
disgusting. Yeah,
And
yeah.
he might get off on that.
Oh, okay.
He's
I
like,
mean,
"No."
I don't think that's right.
Right, but you're just okay.
Yeah.
It could be a possibility.
Okay. Update. So unexpected edit. I waited for him to make a comment this morning so I could talk to him. It was less than an hour after waking up that he said, God, you stink. I had already showered and put on deodorant. I snapped and asked what exactly was he smelling because at this point, I'm one of the cleanest people on the planet. And if I still smell
Right.
bad to him, then we should just break up. He got all panicked and upset. I eventually got out of him that this is what his father always said to his mother. Apparently, his father told him that if it was a surefire technique to have a woman never leave you because she will feel too low to cheat, will love only you and will always be clean. Needless to say, his father is wrong. He's packing his things and moving out of my house today. So you got it with the psychological, sort of. Yeah, you kind of nailed it. A very specific technique. Some comments here. Hey son, you know the woman who gave you life and brought you into this world and probably loves you more than you can ever comprehend?
Yeah, get there.
Here's how I dehumanize her so she sticks around. You should try it with your girlfriends. Someone else said, OP's ex is beyond pathetic, and so is his dad. Insulting someone into staying with you is such an asshole move. His father must have a very low opinion of himself if he believed he needed to do that to get a woman to stay with him. Yeah, that's crazy. And that's also like,
And we also have to realize this is from her mouth, from his mouth. So the father could have just said it as a joke.
I guess.
He could have been like, she'll never leave you.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
I mean, well, no, because he's like, this is what his father always said to his mother. So I think he grew up hearing his father say this to his mom.
that's just what he's saying. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
She asked, "Why do you say that?" And he goes,
but then
That's
it's
what he's saying.
It's for you to stay.
Apparently, his father told him that was a surefire technique to have a woman never leave you. I think it's as scummy as it sounds. It's
scummy.
It's like blatantly bad.
It's scummy, but it's also stupid.
It's really
So
dumb
dumb. Makes
because
no
like
sense.
like drown her in cash or
Well,
something else.
Right.
But it's
right.
but it's also like so easily disproven that like it's a dumb thing that's the one thing he stuck to.
I know, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Because it's so. Also, just a man waking up and going, "God, you stink." Is
Yeah,
so
he's a piece of shit, but he's also really dumb.
Yeah, I think there's so many other ways. If you wanted to manipulate your partner to stay, there's so many
There's
other
so
ways.
many better ways.
Have you ever look?
is.
Have you ever met a bad person, but they're like stupid in the way that they're bad?
Yeah.
And you have the thought of like,
It's like-
you could be better. You could be a better bad
Yeah.
person.
You could be a
You
better bad
You could be
person.
better at being the worst.
You need to
Yes.
think about how you're bad.
Yeah.
You're not doing it well.
I have notes.
Like when
Yeah.
people lie in the dumbest ways, and I'm like mad that they lied to me in such a dumb way
Yeah.
that I'm like, lie better.
Right.
Like,
That's what
come
this is.
on.
Like, if you're gonna be an asshole, do it right.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we're off to a good start. Or bad start.
Bad start. Don't. Don't. And I know I don't smell that bad. I smell like Le Labo, so back up, bitch.
Okay. Am I the asshole for moving my roommate's insulin out of the way?
Off to an awesome start.
Off to an awesome start. So this is a 27-year-old man. So my roommate, a 23-year-old woman, is a type 1 diabetic, and she stores her insulin in the refrigerator. I decided to throw a huge surprise party for my best friend, a 28-year-old man, this weekend. I knew the party would be a massive hit, and I was super excited to see the look on his face when he walked in. To make the party unforgettable, I ordered a giant custom-made ice cream cake, which needed to be kept in the fridge. When I got home with the cake, I realized there wasn't enough room in the fridge for it. My roommate wasn't home, so I couldn't ask her if I could rearrange her stuff. I saw her insulin, and I thought it would be no big deal if I took it out for a few hours while the party was going on, just to make room for the cake. I mean, I didn't think she would need it during the party since she wasn't even invited. Anyway, my roommate came home unexpectedly during the party, noticed her insulin was missing, and absolutely freaked out. She started yelling at me in front of all of my guests, making a scene and totally ruining the vibe. She went on this whole rant about how this type of insulin spoils quickly at room temperature or something. She went on this whole rant about how this type of insulin spoils quickly at room temperature or something, and she made a big scene of throwing it all out. I looked it up, and I'm 90% sure she was exaggerating. She had to take some emergency insulin she keeps in her room and left the party visibly upset. Now, everyone's telling me I'm the asshole for taking her insulin out of the fridge, even though it was only for a few hours. I think she overreacted, and it's not my fault she came home early. Am I the asshole? It's not her fault she came home early? To find out what you did? Anyways.
Oh my God.
So I've only been on one other episode of this show, and I haven't used this card yet. This is 100% fake.
You think?
There's no way. Because think about the size of a cake and the size of a fridge. Even if we're talking mini fridge. My dad was a diabetic, right? So there was insulin in the fridge. Maybe syringes are separate. Maybe it comes in the syringe. He didn't take out the ketchup.
Yeah.
He didn't take out one thing of soda. There is no way in the size of a fridge that he's like, this tiny one thing has to be the thing that moves to make room for the cake.
Do we know how much insulin there was?
A month's supply is just like a bottle.
Well, she had to take emergency insulin, which means I think like...
What does that mean? Does she have a fridge in her room? I'm serious. Like, that's why I think this is fake.
I don't know. I mean, look, we don't know. We never can know if they're fake or real or not.
That's true.
But let's just run with the idea of it being real.
Okay.
It is insane.
Sure.
Yeah.
As taken as real, that's insane to do, right? Like,
of course.
And I would say what makes them an asshole is even if it doesn't spoil fast, it's like you still didn't know that for sure when you made that decision.
Yeah, I mean, this person clearly doesn't know much about like any medication that needs to be refrigerated. Like I worked at a pharmacy, and you have to be serious about it. Even if you think you're 90% sure that they're exaggerating, that it might be fine. What if it wasn't? Then that's like that person. You put that person's health aside for a cake that probably, unless it was like an ice cream cake, would have needed to be, you know, or like, it's a party. Did you not have a cooler where you could put other stuff?
Yeah.
Like, and you couldn't even text this person? Like, I'm so shocked.
That's wild.
Yeah, look, but I will say, it seems impossible to be real. There are people who are just the right amount of dumb and the right amount of selfish to do this.
Yeah.
Here's the wild thing about this to me too. Say for instance it is real. I've had situations with roommates that I like didn't always get along with, but like they would use one of my pans or something. Say for instance they cleaned it with the wrong thing. I come back and the Teflon's all chipped off, and you'll have the conversation of like, hey, I'm sorry to do this, but you kind of botched the pan. They're like, all right, I'll replace it. Like even if someone is a jerk, if they're like, hey, you ruined my thing, you didn't know it, but you ruined my thing, they'll usually be like, I can at least understand that. For this person to be like, okay, well, I Googled your medication.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Like,
and
didn't
the whole like,
even-
I'm 90% sure she's exaggerating. Like, it's just like, dude, come on, man.
Just
And she
huge.
said something and she ruined the whole vibe. It's like, bro, come on.
No way.
So the OP responded to a bunch of people and commented a bunch of stuff, and someone summed it all up, and they go, OP's comments have all been removed by the moderator, it looks like, but he left one saying that they didn't have fridges in historical times and diabetics were fine. For historical context, if you were diagnosed with type 1 diabetes prior to the 1920s or so, you would almost certainly be dead within 3 months. He also seemed convinced somehow that insulin is essentially just a vial of sugar water. If this is real, Jesus tap dancing Christ, he's a moron. I mean, if this person's in the comments arguing with people, this might be real and this person might be that stupid.
Yeah, or just like that. They might. How old is OP?
27. This is the thing though. Look, it's okay to be stupid. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I use that as a comeback all the time.
It's okay.
It's okay to be stupid.
It's okay to be stupid. It's okay to not understand how most medications work. All you have to understand is just really like, hey, whatever their rules are for their medications, follow that.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that's to stay in the fridge. That's for their life. Okay, fine. I don't understand how it works. I don't get it, but I will keep it there. But that's the breaks. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
It's possible OP like removed a bunch of other stuff out of the fridge too, but it was the insulin that they're talking about. I just still can't get past not even trying to call or text and ask, or looking up like this precise stuff, or like you said, taking out like the milk. Like I don't know.
I imagine
anything.
maybe they're in a rush and they just took out some stuff, set it there, and like I bet they didn't even think
That's
about it.
the
Right.
only
I think
way
they
I
just
could see
I think
this
they
being
just
real.
grabbed stuff out and they just put it out, and then later we're like, oh shit, I took out his insulin.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, oh well, whatever.
But then we're dealing with another scenario where they are so unable to recognize making a mistake and taking accountability
Right.
for that. Like, for me to sleep well tonight, this has to be fake. And if it's not, if this person
might
is
not
around, they could be breeding. They could be. We gotta stop this.
Yeah.
clearly throwing parties.
Yes, someone else commented, yes, ruining the party's vibe because the medicine that keeps you alive was ruined is a real
Yeah.
bummer. And someone said expensive medicine. Insurance
Yeah.
won't cover the replacement.
Yeah.
Nope.
Mine is $800 per bottle without insurance.
Yep.
OP better be ready to pay up.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hope I would be interested to see if this was ever on Reddit or updates later of like, am I the asshole for not giving my roommate $800?
It is recent. It's somewhat recent, but no update.
I truly like wouldn't feel safe living with someone like that.
Hell no. Oh, I mean, if this went down as they said, there's no way they're still living together.
No.
Oh, I would get
Because
out.
at the very least, like, maybe the person whose insulin expired would have said, like, hey, you need to pay me back for this. And the other person would have been like, no, screw it. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No. Like,
Oh, that's an ender. That's
yeah.
that's
That's
a-
Ender's Game right there.
And I'm glad that she made a scene in the party. I mean, it wasn't even making a scene. She was reacting validly about what happened, and I'm glad everyone saw and thought that he was an asshole. I
Yeah.
love that for him.
But that's his friends, unfortunately. They're probably just like, whoa, that was crazy back there.
No,
wasn't
what
it?"
he's saying, everyone was calling him an asshole.
Everyone's
Oh, good.
telling me I'm the
Yeah.
asshole. So everyone at the
Oh,
party
good.
saw that and was like, bro, why'd you do that? Like,
Yeah.
I guess there was another comment, like there was some more context in the comments that it was a shared fridge and there was one shelf for this roommate with their stuff there. So like, it looks like he didn't want to take out any of his stuff. So
Oh, because he has
just-
to keep his beer cold or whatever
Yeah,
for the
probably
party.
had a lot of stuff for the party, so he
Oh
probably was
my
just like,
God.
oh, all my roommate stuff goes out.
Wow.
Awful person.
Man.
Let's move on. because that we're starting off with a pretty
Super clear.
horrible asshole. Let's see if it gets topped.
Never been washed, horrible asshole. Stinky.
The grossest asshole.
Stinky.
Okay, next story. Am I the asshole for bringing a raccoon to my sister's wedding?
All right. This is the vibe we needed.
Is this okay? Is this this is the Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Okay. So this happened last weekend and I'm still getting angry texts from my family. Let me explain. I have a pet raccoon named Pebble. He is very friendly and well trained, and I love him like a son. He goes everywhere with me, and he has his own harness and leash. He is also vaccinated and has all the necessary papers. I was invited to my sister's wedding, which was held at a fancy hotel. I asked her if I could bring Pebble, and she said no. She said it was inappropriate and disrespectful to bring a wild animal to such an important event. She also said that some of the guests might be allergic or scared of him. I was hurt by her response, but I didn't want to argue with her. I decided to respect her wishes and leave Pebble at home with a friend. However, on the day of the wedding, my friend called me and said that he had an emergency and couldn't take care of Pebble. I panicked. I didn't have anyone else who could watch Pebble, and I didn't want to leave him alone in my apartment. I also didn't want to miss my sister's wedding, so I decided to bring Pebble with me. I thought it wouldn't be a big deal. I put him in his harness and leash and put a bow tie on him to make him look more formal. I also brought some treats and toys to keep him entertained. I figured I could just sneak him in and keep him in a corner where he wouldn't bother anyone. Boy, was I wrong. As soon as I arrived at the hotel, people started noticing Pebble. Some of them thought he was cute and wanted to pet him, but others were horrified and disgusted. They started whispering and pointing at me and Pebble. Some of them even complained to the staff. My sister saw me and Pebble and freaked out. She came over to me and yelled at me for bringing him. She said I was selfish and irresponsible and that I should leave immediately. I tried to apologize and explain the situation, but she wouldn't listen. She told me to get out or she would call security. She also said that I was no longer her brother and that she never wanted to see me or Pebble again. Ooh. I was shocked and hurt by her reaction. I felt like she was overreacting and being unreasonable. Pebble didn't do anything wrong. He was just sitting quietly in his harness, looking adorable. He didn't bite anyone or make a mess or cause any trouble. I decided to leave with Pebble, but not before telling my sister that she was being a bridezilla and that she owed me an apology. I also told her that Pebble was more family to me than she ever was. Now my whole family is mad at me. They say I was rude and disrespectful to my sister and that I should have left Pebble at home or found another solution. They say I should apologize to my sister and beg for her forgiveness. But I don't think I did anything wrong. I think my sister was being unfair and cruel to me and Pebble. I think she should apologize to me for treating me like dirt. So am I the asshole?
Yeah.
I mean, he put Pebble in a bow tie.
Yeah, so like, I don't know, he's in a bow tie.
He's in a bow tie, he should have been fine.
I will admit, before I say anything, if I was at anywhere and I saw a raccoon in a bow tie, that'd make my day. Yeah. That would make my day.
Oh yeah.
I'd be so happy.
I would be stoked to see a pet raccoon in a bow tie at a wedding.
I would be stoked, but he was told no, and he did it.
Yeah.
That makes you, I'm sorry, it makes you the asshole. At a wedding,
At a wedding.
If it was any other kind of event, it would be a little more like, all right.
Yes.
It's the wedding, and it's like, and also he's downplaying so much, like, and I was told no. And I did it, what's the big deal that I didn't listen to you?
And above all, the bride said no. Like, the bride is his sister and was like, no, do not ruin my special day. And that is now something that, like, she's gonna carry for the rest of the time. Like, she's always going to be like, oh, at my wedding, like, my brother and I got into the biggest fight of our lives. If they are still brother and sister is what they consider.
Him saying, like, Pebble is more family to me than she ever was
that's a red flag.
That's a, like, intense, he has to apologize for that. That's the worst thing that happened.
Yeah.
It sounds like this dude, like, he has no self-awareness.
Yeah.
And, like, he probably spends too much time with just him and Pebble to where he's, like, lost the understanding of, like, oh, that was wrong of me to do.
Right. And he's like, oh, and I couldn't possibly leave him at home for a couple hours.
Not an untrained raccoon.
Well,
so
Pebble does sound trained.
Right, but if you can't trust a raccoon to be in your home, why?
Right.
Yeah, but the sister's reasonings were right. It's like, it's less that, she didn't say Pebble's gonna do some f***ed up shit.
Right.
She said, hey, people might be allergic or people might freak out.
Yeah.
And people might. So that's a very good reason. And then he was like, but screw it. And like, dude, if he brought it and someone had a severe allergic reaction and then they had to leave,
yeah,
that's so
The
Blake.
truth is that he is lucky that Pebble
Yeah.
did not bite anybody, that nobody necessarily was allergic. Like, so much bad could have come out with it, and he risked that still.
He was selfish because if he had said, hey, the sitter for Pebble was, something happened, I'm sorry, I can't go.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, like I have to stay here. She hopefully would have been less upset about that. And
Yeah.
if she got mad at him and disowned him for that, I'd be like, hey, like, come on, he had no choice.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what the deal is with raccoons, if you can't leave them alone or not. Like, I don't have a raccoon.
They'll steal your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're little bandits.
They'll get on a spaceship and go fly around and save the galaxy.
Maybe it's just me. I'm just frightened by these critters. So
Are you scared of raccoons?
definitely so. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
I think they're adorable.
and I'm sure many people did. In another video, I talked about opossum, and everyone was like, "Opossum are so cute," and I'm scared.
Opossums look freaky, but they're cute still.
I'm horrified. I'm very scared.
Look, almost any animal I'm down with, as I've said, chimpanzees. If someone brought a chimpanzee to a wedding, I'm leaving that wedding, even if it's my own.
What if
yeah.
it's the flower chimp?
I don't care. I don't trust any chimpanzee.
Yeah.
Gorillas, fine.
Huh.
Gorillas are totally fine. They're great. If you respect a gorilla, they'll respect you.
I didn't grow up with like any pets, so I just have a hard
I thought
time
you were gonna
trusting
say
animals.
chimps.
I didn't grow up, with pet chimpanzees in my
No,
house.
I didn't. My brother was a real person, so I dealt with that.
I imagine boarding places don't accept raccoons. Like, I imagine there was no place to put a raccoon. Some comments here. Something tells me this isn't the first time Pebble and this person showed up together where they weren't supposed to be. I'm also having that vibe. That said, a raccoon in a bow tie is adorable. Yeah. OP is an asshole, but he made me think of a raccoon wearing a bow tie, so I cannot really be angry at him. I get why the sister would be, though. I think Pebble, occasionally, it's been a while since we've declared a legend in this show. Like, some characters you come across are legends. I think Pebble is a legend. You know what I kind of imagine Pebble as? Is a little bit like Baby Yoda. Like Grogu from Mandalorian. Like, they're talking and the raccoon's just like, just chilling.
I feel like he needs like a top hat to accompany the bow tie. That'd be
if he had a top hat, the sister wouldn't have been mad.
I bet.
Right. She wouldn't have seen him.
Probably just thought it was like a little boy from the 1920s.
Right.
Anyways, moving on.
Yeah. I'm really angry at him for that one.
Sorry, I deleted all the files you told me to delete. This is malicious compliance. My job was to design and write software prototypes for individual high-value customers. If they liked it well enough, then a real software engineering team would build the real product. Occasionally, I would run the prototype for a few months while the customer evaluated if they wanted to buy the real project. Now, these prototypes are not a lot of code, but they do run with a lot of data. Even compressed, it can be a terabyte or more. Having done this work for years, I've accumulated a small disk farm of past projects, which can be very useful when a customer asks for something just like what we did last year, but with a small change or two. The company resisted buying hard drives for this, but it saved me so much time. I ended up buying 1 or 2 a year myself until I accumulated about 10 of them. Figure over $1,000 worth of external drives. Then the unexpectedly management changes. New management thinks they can replace the old software guy with a cheaper new software grad, and I am laid off, with 2 weeks to train my replacement. Yes, it's blatant age discrimination, but impossible to fight, so I just went for a graceful transition to my next job.
The newer guy doesn't eat breakfast.
Except I have $1,000 of personal disk drives with old customer data on them. Company insists that no ex-employees may take any company data off premises and all files must be deleted. I don't want to just leave the drives at the company, but they insist I must delete all data before taking them home. So I offer. They can buy them from me, or I will eventually use them for something else, but I can leave the data on them in case someone needs it. Not good enough. New manager insists I must delete all data and all backups before I remove the drives. Okay, that's what I do. 6 months later, I got a series of desperate phone calls. New software grad has been unable to build any new prototypes. Old customers are calling to get old prototypes updated, and new software grad has no idea how to do that. The executive VP is calling to ask what it would take to bring me back to do my old job. Sorry, I've got a new job now. And even if I didn't, I cannot just modify the old prototype because you insisted I delete all old copies of it. If I did want to modify it, I'd first have to recreate it from scratch. The code still exists in their source control, but the data is the heart of the prototypes. And that old series of 6 months apart data we collected is gone for good, no matter what. Sorry, you screwed yourselves exactly like I told you would happen. Hope whatever you saved by hiring a new grad to replace an actually experienced programmer was worth it. Damn.
That was rough.
That's rough.
That's real rough. I'm not too savvy on like tech stuff, but I know from
It's all in the data and code,
like just
bro.
backups of things and stuff. And once you lose it, it's like it's a
yeah.
huge
Oh
deal.
yeah. I mean that's like.
I remember when Defy went under.
Yeah.
That was the biggest deal. That we had a ton of stuff on drives, and that was like, we need to get that.
Right.
Like that was the only thing we were focused on for like a month or two. So it's shocking that this company clearly was like
data
lacking.
is like someone asked me the other day, like, what would you save in your house, like besides your cats, obviously, like if there were a fire. And to me, it was like my computer, like my laptop or my hard drives, because that's like data, and that's like I can't replace a lot of that.
Right. That is like the modern photo book.
It's like pictures. It's also like footage from every video I've ever shot.
Right,
it's like it's memories and it's it's data. Like
everything
else is things.
This guy followed the rules.
Yeah, he did his thing.
He did exactly what they said to.
He screwed over his replacement, which that's the only thing that's like.
Did he?
I mean, the guy like
the replacement just got hired. Like
right.
But well.
Well, he didn't
sort
like
of. No,
intentionally.
he didn't screw him over.
actually
He just
do
didn't set him up for.
I mean, I don't know who knows how he
thing.
trained him, but yeah, he did nothing wrong. The new person didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Who's ultimately at fault is the higher ups, and they're the ones who ultimately pay. You know, because the new hire, he has the job, like he's doing the best he can.
Right.
He doesn't know some. Someone said an interesting comment. You think hiring a professional is expensive? Try hiring an amateur. And that's an interesting thing because the costs you'll have to pay for things not working out and not being able to do the job.
I can't wait. Dude, the day I get to throw that line in someone's face.
I know, right? Ooh.
It's
going to be a good 40-year-old moment for us.
And someone said the epitome of congratulations, you played yourself.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good malicious compliance right there.
Managers.
Classic.
Managers, f***
them.
All right.
Love you, Rachel. Sorry.
Next one. My best guy friend just told me he's in love with me 2 days before my wedding.
Woohoo! Okay.
I've been with my fiance for 3 years, engaged for a little over a year. My best friend and I have known each other since freshman year of college. We are all in our early 30s. This morning, I woke up to a long-ass text from my guy best friend that he had sent around 6 a.m.
Sorry, that's crazy.
Basically, it was him pouring his heart out. He said he's been in love with me for years, but always hoped I'd end up breaking up with my fiance and finally noticing him. He asked me to call off the wedding and run away with him. It said, I needed to tell you before it was too late. I just feel gross and sad. I have no feelings for him beyond platonic love. I've drafted a response and deleted it over and over. I haven't even told my fiance. I don't want him to have to worry about me so soon to our wedding. I know I need to, but I don't know what to do or how to phrase it. What's worse is that he's become my fiance's friend too. I'm also pretty pissed that my friend chose such an unfortunate time to cause me such distress. There were so many times over the years he could have just bucked up and told me how he felt. But waiting until right before I'm married, like I would just cancel my wedding and leave my fiance because of a goddamn text. I want to tell him to not come to the wedding. I can't trust that he wouldn't try to pull something. I don't even know if I want to talk to him again. But the thought of losing my best friend is heartbreaking. Hell, the thought of not having him at my wedding is really painful. He's put me in an uncomfortable, impossible situation. I wish it wasn't on me to deal with these feelings for him. I wish he had either stopped being friends with me when he realized us ending up together would never happen, or had told me a while ago. I don't want to kick him while he's down, but I need to make it clear that I have no feelings, the wedding is still on, and I don't want him to attend. We have been friends for over a decade. I've been crying over this all day. I feel almost disgusted, knowing that this whole time he had ulterior motives. How do I even go about dealing with this? I'm supposed to get married in under 48 hours. Edit. I'll be showing the text to my fiance after he gets home from his brother's. I won't send anything until he's here with me.
That's good. I like that.
She's very smart.
Yes.
I want to say, like, this is the most
well-rounded,
mature response to this you can have.
Yeah.
But also, I'll say, being on Reddit 2 days before your wedding, kind of sad.
Oh, that's also true. That's also true.
Okay, I hope they end up together.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of hope they do too.
Her and the friend?
I famously will always fall in love with my best friend. Famously straight or gay, bad, and I'm always like,
It could happen. It could. I want to believe that it could happen.
I like it in the sense of if this was a movie.
Yeah, and that's
But
what this
in
is to
real
me.
life, in real life, I feel
No,
like that
no.
would never look or be as good as
Yeah.
the movie.
Not the wedding. It's the wedding part that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been so much thought and
Yeah.
planning and tickets bought and
Also,
money and
I'll say it's not the wedding part that's f***ed up too. It's the text part.
text.
Yeah, not a call.
Well, it's
not in person.
It's 6 a.m., so maybe he was. I mean, I don't.
A letter would
6
do
a.m.
it.
is a crazy time because that means like, I could say like, oh, he was maybe very very drunk, but like 6 a.m. is a weird
Too
time.
late to be drunk and crafting it. She would have said that the text message made no sense. She'd have been like, it looks like
Yeah.
there's typos,
Yeah.
grammatical errors.
That's really he's going through it.
Yeah.
He's really going through it. If you're in that headspace at 6 a.m., oh my God.
At least the guy in Love actually like wrote it on posters.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, let's cut that out.
Actually in love. Actually in love.
Okay.
Okay. Are we ready for this update?
Wait,
my God.
did we guess?
I mean, you're guessing. I mean, I like the prediction of you're hoping they end up together.
Yeah, I think because of this
Or
format,
you're thinking they're gonna end up.
my
together.
brain's going crazier because I know that these people are always just.
It's
these
always-
stories are always wild.
And Mike, I'll give a crazier guess.
Okay.
Guess. That he's protecting her from something.
Oh.
The fiance's done something and he knows and he doesn't want to tell her, so
Interesting.
instead it's easier to do
Okay.
this.
so a 6 a.m. Hail Mary
A
text.
6 a.m. Hail Mary text, like he knows the best man, I
Okay.
mean, the groom has been sleeping with someone or.
Okay.
Or okay,
Last one?
or we're gonna get the update that the fiance came home, and then they got into a huge fight, and then they get married, and she's not with him. I don't know.
Okay.
Somehow I'm trying to win.
Right.
My husband, I love being able to say that now. This is later.
Oh my God, but we don't know who she's married to.
Which one?
My husband, I love being able to say that now, and I got back from our honeymoon yesterday. I turned on my phone and opened the Reddit app, and it was still signed into this account. So I had an oh yeah moment and figured I'd post an update. So a lot of people here really helped validate the icky mess of feelings I was having. Thank you for that. Posting here really helped put my thoughts into words. So that night, my fiance got home from his brother's. I let him sit down, and when I showed him the text, he read it, and I watched his eyes get bigger and expression angrier. Of course, I started apologizing like an idiot, and he told me I didn't owe him an apology for anything. We talked, and he told me he figured the guy had a crush but kept it respectful. And really, he had. We were close, but beyond a side hug during greetings and goodbyes, there was no physicality. I even let him read out past messages just to see that there was no emotional affair or me leading him on. I never even vented about my fiance when we would have arguments because I knew better than to do that. I'd talk to my mom, lol. So my fiance asked me what I wanted to do, and I said that while it did sadden me, I didn't want him at our wedding. I was afraid that he would try some nonsense. We typed up a very brief message. It said, "Friend, I'm sorry that you mistook my friendship for something more. The wedding is going to happen, and it'd be best if you didn't attend. To be clear, I let fiance read this message, and he stands by my decision to uninvite you." We wanted to make it clear that that it was me who wanted him not to come, not just my fiance. Knowing him, he'd probably claim that the fiance forced me to uninvite him. He read the message and left it on read for a while. I honestly started getting pretty anxious over it, and my fiance asked if I wanted to block him. Part of me wanted to, and part of me wanted to hear him out. And when he finally responded, the text was so long that I had to click on it to read it. It was horrible. He called me a liar for leading him on for over a decade, that he hoped my fiance left me, and that we were infertile.
No.
It was just horrible thing after horrible thing, and I started crying. Fiance took my phone into the other room while I sobbed. I think he called him, but I'm not sure. What I do know is after about an hour, he came back in, handed me my phone back, and told me that my friend was now blocked on everything, would not be attending, and the best man and my maid of honor knew of the situation and would handle it for me. It was like a weight lifted off my shoulders, honestly. After reading that message, I really wasn't so sad that my friend wouldn't be attending anymore.
Yeah.
And our wedding fucking rocked. We had the time of our lives, surrounded by people who loved us and we loved them. It still feels like a dream, to be honest, and if the friend tried to show up, I never heard anything of it. I guess that's the update. It's not nearly as dramatic and crazy as what people hope for. I feel like, but I'm happy. Yeah, so that one was a little more predictable,
Right.
I guess, but you know, it's hard to know with these stories. Some comments on here. Dude saw Love Actually and thought he might be the one to make the wedding scene work for him where it failed on screen. So disturbing that someone you considered a friend for over a decade could turn on you that quickly because you don't want to sleep with them. He was hiding the real him for a decade.
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
Yeah.
homie has confused love with obsession easily because that is not how you treat people you love.
Right.
That you don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, that guy has to think if he was pretending, and that's what it was. He was pretending to be someone's friend for that long. It's like, what are any of his friendships?
Yeah.
Like, does he have any actual friendships?
Yeah.
Like, or is it all just transactional that
She
he's
said
hoping for?
they were friends for 10 plus years.
10 plus years.
See, I have another friend right now that had like a falling out with her friend. And I have this weird thing that I think like if you're like 5+ years, 10+ years of friendship, it shouldn't be able to be blown up in a second.
No.
Like everything should be talked out, at least like tried.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was just one and done. He wished you infertile and that was it.
Insane.
Like,
yeah, absolutely insane.
It also probably made it easier for her.
Oh
It's like,
my God.
Now I don't have.
Yeah, probably hurt so bad, but also, yeah, I guess you could say the silver lining is like, okay, now I get to just completely remove him from my life. Because there's no, I mean, him doing that 48 hours before the wedding, there's no coming back from that anyways.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it could have been really complicated if he was like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to, that was wrong of me. Or if he drunk texted that,
Yeah.
then that would be really
different.
hard. Like
Yeah.
that, then if he's like, I didn't want to send you that, I didn't want to say it.
yeah, it's
My
like.
friend took my phone.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was Jeff. That
Wait,
was
I
him.
thought this was somebody else.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was my other friend of 10 years.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my God, my
was getting
cousin
married.
typed something stupid on my phone. He also made my Facebook status, I love poop. Remember when you used to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One more comment. As someone who has had feelings for a friend and never moved to a romantic level, this dude fucking sucks. They've known each other for years, and he decides to shoot his shot right before her wedding, and then his reaction when she told him she didn't think of him that way, gross. Beyond gross if you actually love someone, truly love them. Then you want them to be happy no matter what. You want to be in their life and have them as your friend and talk to them and laugh with them and cheer them on at all the good moments in their life and be there to support them during the down times. You don't throw away that kind of friendship with someone just because they won't f you.
Yeah.
If you genuinely love them, that is, this dude is just a selfish ass who gives off clear incel vibes, and OOP is completely right to yeet him the f out of her life.
Eat it or eat it.
Yeah, it's sad that it's obvious that it was like he viewed her as an object for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, because if he really did care for her as a person,
Yeah.
You let it go.
He would have also. He would have also had clearer vision to go, oh, she's really happy in this situation.
Yeah.
You
I mean, he
know?
made
but
it
she
easy.
clearly couldn't. He couldn't think that way.
I think he made it easy on her. Him being
Definitely.
a clear
Yeah.
asshole at the end is just like clear block.
Yeah.
Instead of like your best friend being heartbroken, that would have gotten
then you have to,
messy.
And he doesn't even feel bad about it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe someday, maybe
Yeah.
years from now, he'll
Definitely.
suddenly wake up.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right, next story. So I, 21, guy, live with my childhood best friend, 22, also a guy, and have done for 2 years now, and have been for 2 years now. Up until last week, things were perfect between us. However, he recently got a new girlfriend, 23, lady, and she honestly seems absolutely great except for one thing. She seemingly has a complete aversion to knocking. She and I have quite a lot in common, and I actually like spending time with her. However, it bugs the hell out of me when she just barges into my room without knocking first. Now, she's never walked in on me doing anything untoward. I'm usually just chilling on my bed or studying at my desk. However, on at least 7 separate occasions now, she's done it first thing in the morning to ask if I want coffee. I sleep naked. Every time prior to the last one, I've been under the covers and she hasn't seen anything. I always point out that she could have, and she just giggles and says, but I didn't. When she stayed over last week, in order to make my point, I intentionally slept on top of the covers. Sure enough, she barges in at 7 a.m., begins to ask if I want coffee, and sees my you-know-what. She immediately backed out of the room and didn't speak to me for the rest of the day. My mate later pulled me aside and said I was baying out of order, accused me of deliberately exposing myself, and pointed out that I'd threatened to do it before. I literally just said, okay, but what if I had no covers and you saw everything before? They're now framing this to others that I'm some sick creep who intentionally got naked and lay in wait for her because that's how I get my rocks off. and I'm kind of seeing how it came off that way. Am I the asshole for doing this? Okay. Well, look, before we get into more details on this, I will say, like, you should knock. Like, in a roommate situation, that is their private property. That's their home.
Yeah, you should
to
knock,
go in
especially if they've made a comment about, like, hey, you could have, like, hey, you should knock.
It's just like that to me is trespassing. Like that's
Yeah, but at the same time, he literally was like, these guys are acting like I purposefully slept naked and waited for this. That is exactly what you did.
He did do that.
He did in fact.
And it wasn't to get your physical rocks off, but it was to get your mental rocks off because you wanted to prove her wrong. And that's exactly what you did.
It's a tough situation because I think they're kind of both assholes. Like, obviously you should knock. Like, when someone is setting a boundary with you multiple times and you're not respecting that boundary, you are in the wrong there. And I understand him wanting to be like proving a point. I get that. But it's not like, oh, your cake fell down the disposal because you didn't listen to me. Like, oops, that's my point. It's like, well, your genitals were exposed to that person who didn't want to see that. Like,
And there were steps. There were steps that could have been taken.
Yeah. So, you know, as always with Reddit stories, we don't have a lot of context. We only have what they've written. He never says that he told them, please don't, like, barge into my room. Please knock. He doesn't explicitly say that he had that talk with them. He could have sat down and been like, hey, it really makes me uncomfortable when you barge into my room without knocking. He didn't say that.
He kind of went straight for the nuclear option.
Yeah, and that you know, that does leave the possibility open of, like, is he just looking for this crazy thing to do? Like, we don't know. But look, are you an asshole for barging into someone's room without knocking multiple times? Absolutely. Yeah. But I need to more information on if he told them please don't.
This sounds to me like someone who is frankly oblivious and, like, was in the right originally, wanted to find a way to get back at them, but did something that is, like, unfortunately, like, it does paint you in a pretty bad light, and it's like, you have now exposed yourself knowing full well that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And, like, beyond that, with the privacy thing, like, you know, we've talked about personal roommate stuff. I had a roommate before who had a girlfriend who was, like, very immature, and so, like, I would sometimes be in my room and I would just hear a knock at the door. And so, like, she would knock and that was nice, but, like, I'm very to myself, and I would open up the door, I'd be like, hey, and she'd be like, hi. And I'd be like, hi. And she'd be like, how are you? I'm like, good, just sort of hanging out in my room. And she's like, okay. Well, I just want to say hey. And I was like, okay. And, like, even that is, like, she didn't do anything wrong, but it was just kind of like, hey, what the was that back there?
Yeah.
Like, hey man, I don't know you.
Right.
You're my roommate's girlfriend, and you guys are gonna go hang out. Like, why are you here?
Sure. Sure. We have some comments here. So Reddit declared not the asshole. And they said, not the asshole. She knew it was a risk when she barged in. How is she not the pervert? Also, have you considered getting a lock? He responded saying, considered it. Unfortunately, the lease doesn't allow it. Other comments point out, like, there are other forms of locks without getting a lock.
Yeah.
Like, there are other ways you can do that.
You shouldn't have to, though.
You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to.
Yeah, it just really feels like it doesn't, like, there's so many steps. It's not that hard to even just go to the boyfriend, the roommate, and be like, hey, your girlfriend keeps walking in on me knowing that I sleep naked. It's inappropriate. Don't you think that's weird? And then leave it to him to figure it out. But, like...
Yeah, the other comment that we have here is, not the asshole. I actually think it's pretty funny. This is the way you chose to make your point. You deserve your privacy, and she obviously isn't respecting that. If you told her before and she just shrugged it off, then maybe a little shock and real-life demonstration is what she needed in order to get the point across. Also, screw those people. You didn't expose yourself to her. She exposed herself to you by barging into your private space after being warned already. You have every right to be naked in the privacy of your own room. Now, this is Reddit. This is definitely a Reddit response. Reddit... you know, can be that way. Yeah, I definitely am more on the side with you guys of feeling like I really need to know. Frankly, with this one, I need to know way more context.
Yeah.
Like,
it's touchy. It's touchy because, like, first of all, she exposed herself to your exposure. Like,
it's like
a lot of actual criminals would try to use that as an excuse when they're actually trying to flash people. Like, I think, like I said, he chose to sleep above the covers, and I feel like the only way that this would have been actually funny and in any way slightly a method of fixing the problem is if he multiple times spoke to both of the other people in the situation saying, please do not come into my room. Like, I don't know. I think I disagree with Reddit.
Yeah.
I think he skipped a few steps. He skipped a few steps. Like, I would have personally been like, hey, you have violated my privacy a few times, so just letting you know, from here on out, I will be sleeping naked above the covers. If you come into my room, you are going to see me naked.
That's totally fair.
Just so you know.
Right.
And also, like, so first, again, wrong of him to expose himself to her because he did end up doing that. How thick is that door? Hey, you want coffee? That's it.
Yep.
Is it like 5 inches of steel?
It feels like there is like a huge lack.
I think that there's so many Reddit stories. There's so many Reddit stories that we read where I'm like, I think 90% of this is missing.
It's an untrustworthy narrator.
Yeah,
you're just like,
and this is one of them.
Left to like fill in the gaps with your own bias.
It definitely reads to me as, you know, whether it's aged well or not. It sounds like a premise of a Friends episode.
It wouldn't have aged well.
Oh, this is textbook Joey.
Yeah.
Textbook Joey.
Yeah, it sounds like that. Anyways, all right, so moving on. This next one, you know, we're moving on to something a little more simple, I guess you could say. Okay. I don't know if that makes sense. All right. Next one. Am I the asshole for participating in my neighborhood's Easter egg hunt that was meant for children?
Hell yeah.
Legend.
I hope he dressed up like a little boy with like a little spinny hat, and he's like, oh, I'm so excited for eggs.
And by little boy, you mean little raccoon with a bow tie and a top hat.
That too.
I thought this was going to be a guy. I, 25-year-old woman, have always loved Easter, and my family would participate in egg hunts every year as I was growing up. I always love Easter candy, which makes the hunts even more fun for me. I recently moved to a new city with my partner, a 25-year-old man, and we saw that our neighborhood association was throwing an Easter egg extravaganza. We thought this would be a good opportunity to get more involved in the community, so we signed up to volunteer. I asked the president of the association if I could also sign up for the Easter egg hunt due to my love for the holiday, and she said it would be fine. Turns out nobody above the age of 10 had signed up, though, and I thought it should be okay, as there were like 70 kids participating, so my presence wasn't super obvious. Aww. A lot of the kids' parents were staring at me by this point, but I brushed it off. When the hunt began, I didn't mean to go too crazy, but after I filled my basket, looked back, my path was marked by a clear swath of eggless grass.
Yes.
Some of the kids definitely didn't get as much candy as me, but everyone seemed happy enough. As I made my way back to my partner, though, the parents were making comments that they knew I would overhear about how the egg hunt was for children. My partner suggested I give back some of the eggs, and so I returned some to the kids who were nearby until enough parents seemed to be off my back. However, I didn't want to give every kid an egg because that would take too long, and I would basically be out. Nobody else said anything before we left, but in the weeks since, I've seen some of the parents, and they've been much colder to me. Am I the asshole?
You know what I would say? Should we all say it together?
What?
1, 2, 3. Legend!
A little bit of a legend, because this person is a Danny McBride character. I feel like, I don't care about these freaking kids. I'm gonna get some eggs. Like,
I love that she like cleaned the floor with them.
Just wiped.
Just wrecked them. Look, she asked if it was okay for her to do it, and they said yes. So then, what's the big deal?
I would never in a million years do this, but if I'm ever at any sort of event like this, like if I'm ever watching like a soccer game with my 7 to 9 year old like nieces and nephews, I'll like watch them playing soccer and stuff. I definitely have the thought of just like, if I was out there,
I could kick their
ass. I could just beat them down.
I would be scoring so many points.
Yeah.
Which is why I think the act of her asking if she could is a little irrelevant to me.
Yeah.
Because you could score on your nieces and nephews. You very much could.
I would never do it, but it would be so fun to dunk on a bunch of 5-year-olds. That'd be so funny. To participate, there are tons of parents who do that, who participate.
Totally.
But you don't friggin' wreck the children.
Absolutely not.
Why not? They gotta learn that you can't
sweep the floor with them.
No, because they are not gonna treat Easter the same way that she is with love
Easter's
and
bull. anyway.
No,
It's a holiday stolen from the pagans.
But Easter candy is the best holiday candy in existence.
Sure.
I will go to bat for that. That Easter
true.
candy, next level. Cadbury cream eggs. I love Peeps. I know most people
Any
don't agree
chocolate
with
bunny.
that. This is what sucks. This is why she's an asshole, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I love Easter candy. I can go to CVS and buy some.
Exactly.
These kids under 10 can't easily buy that candy. You get an excuse to eat a ton of candy.
Hold on, because I will actually contend that she paid for that candy because she said it's her neighborhood association. That's a homeowners association. She's paying out the f***ing ass for nothing. Homeowners associations, eat that candy. She earned that candy.
Those kids live in that neighborhood and they didn't get a choice but to live in that neighborhood.
Those kids did not pay for that candy. She's paying $500 a month. It's at the least she can get some free Easter candy.
No, Ian's an asshole too. That's
I love this story so much. This is like the funniest on the planet to me.
I think what she should have done is maybe played a little bit less competitively.
Yeah.
very
but
much so.
HOA fees are BS.
Yeah, I don't like homeowners associations, but don't literally steal candy from babies.
Don't steal candy from children. And again, I think she approached everything correctly until then. Like she asked
Until she
permission.
wrecked them.
She definitely had enough cues to be like, okay, I'm definitely the oldest person here. She should have clocked that and moved forward accordingly.
That is true. Like she did it, like to be competitive about Easter candy is kind of hilarious.
It's really funny.
And you know what? A total Redditor move.
And then again, let's go back to when she was like, I didn't want to give it to everybody because then I'd be out.
Yeah. I can't take the L.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, she taught those kids an important lesson, you know? Like, they just got to get good.
Yeah, okay.
Or that they got to stop 25-year-olds from entering into
but the point is you're
these
supposed to
things.
fight your own weight class. Like, they can't compete against a 25-year-old. Like, they need to...
Ian's like, that's the world.
Sorry,
That's
dude.
the world, man. It's not fair.
Sorry, dude.
Some comments, damn, how big was the basket OOP was using? Dude, I brought my 4-year-old to a local brewery's egg hunt, and once she got like 15 eggs, we stopped so the other kids would be able to get some too. If my preschool child could limit herself and share the joy, then a fully grown adult should know better.
Absolutely.
Go to an adult egg hunt or buy your own Easter candy. Wait a week and get all the candy you can handle for pennies. OP needs to grow up. That's so true, man.
That's
if you
so
wait,
interesting.
if you wait till right after Easter, you could go and you can buy it all.
Yeah.
You can have it all,
But
man.
I honestly, I didn't even think about it like that. If she was just another kid and like swiped up that much, like even then we would be like, oh no, like you should share with everybody. Like
Yeah,
that is
man.
still
Yeah.
the fundamental thing that we want to pull out of this.
I think it just comes back to the typical thing. The continuing theme with a lot of these is these people just lacking so much self-awareness.
Yeah.
And being
Yeah.
like, wait, I got all the Easter candy and everyone else's children.
Okay.
Right, right.
Yeah, so there's an edit that she wrote. She says,
great.
way more people responded to this than I expected. That's what they say every time.
Whatever.
I now realize how bad I dropped the ball on this one. Also, a lot of people are questioning my social awareness, and now I am too.
Yeah.
I've never been diagnosed with a personality disorder, but I have been diagnosed with ADHD. How can I repair my relationships with my neighbors? I really don't want to move, but now I'm feeling pretty embarrassed. That is tough. That if she now realizes like I was the asshole, that sucks. That's a tough one to come back from.
I mean,
Most people never admit that though.
Yeah.
Most people are like,
Yeah,
look,
she
you guys
admitted
just
it.
don't get it. She's like, no,
Right.
like I guess.
That's
like,
what
yeah.
makes it funny to me is that like she just truly was in the zone.
Yeah.
Like, she was in the
but
zone, man.
look for other ways maybe to enjoy, like be the Easter bunny and hand
Right.
out all of these if you love Easter so
I would
much.
have so much more fun hiding the eggs.
Right.
Dude, they would never find them.
Yep.
And then I would
Completely.
come back later and I would take them all.
Ooh, yeah.
See,
Exactly.
that's what she should have thought about that.
There you go. You should
She could have
comment.
had all the eggs.
You should comment to your original
excuse
post.
Me. Wow. I actually think out of all of these, she's kind of a legend to me, like truly.
An unaware legend.
She was in the wrong, but it's pretty funny.
It's funny.
I will admit though, if I was there personally, I would have been so mad.
Oh yeah.
Even
if it was your kid.
even if it wasn't my kid, I'd be like, what are they doing? But it'd be so funny. Like, imagine that on like an HBO comedy show.
Yeah.
Like it's totally a Danny McBride. Like, this is something that would happen in Eastbound and Down.
Yeah, you'd be like kicking kids and like push them over and like stealing from their basket.
It's a Will Ferrell move.
Yeah, exactly.
I think what we need to do next Easter rolls around, Smosh needs to go to a children's Easter egg hunt and just destroy them.
Annihilate. We could sweep.
Yeah.
Am I the asshole for eating the last donut before my pregnant coworker could have one?
Look, man.
This is a personal dilemma I have here at Smosh whenever there's donuts or food or treats, because I am someone who I'm a vacuum. And I will definitely be like, I could take 2 donuts, but is someone else gonna not have a donut?
But is someone here pregnant?
Yeah.
But is someone pregnant? Okay. I, a 19-year-old man, moved to New York City a couple months ago and found work in a... I moved to New York City a couple months ago and found work in a small office. My boss brought in a couple boxes of donuts this morning and let us all have some. All in all, there were enough for all of us to have 2, 12 employees and 24 donuts. The pregnant employee ended up not showing 30 minutes into the shift so far, so I had 2 more donuts for a total of 4. And not even 10 minutes later, she came walking in saying her truck broke down. She saw we all had donuts and she asked me if there were any saved for her since our boss let her know she brought donuts. I calmly told her no since I assumed she skipped work.
Calmly.
She got frustrated and said that she had to skip breakfast today. I said, so? I never eat breakfast. She said, this is...
That's the most 19-year-old thing.
So I don't even eat breakfast, dude.
I eat like... I like 4 dinners.
She said, this is kind of a bigger deal for a pregnant person than it is for some kid. At this point, my boss told me to get to work and gave her uneaten donuts. The boss gave the pregnant woman her uneaten donuts. My boss called me into her office and said I was being rude. I told her that I thought my coworker was skipping and offered to post here on Reddit for neutral opinions.
I'm gonna go into Lisa's. I'd be like, you want me to post this on Reddit?
I'll post this on Reddit and we'll see who's...
settle this.
Yeah, we'll settle it.
Yeah. She said that, I mean, people would still see you as a jerk in the real world, even if a group of socially awkward kids took your side.
Yo! Hell yeah, dude.
She kind of ate with that one.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
I wonder how Reddit's gonna respond to that. She thinks everybody on this site is 15 no matter what I say. So
no, they're different.
So that was the end of our conversation. My coworker let me know she forgave me, but never offered me an apology for her attitude or for dismissing me as some kid. Am I the asshole?
Yeah.
I'm the pregnant woman. If I was pregnant, I would be like, you know, as a pregnant person, this is kind of a big deal to everything.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Like you eat my donuts. Like I'm like, as a pregnant person, this is
a big deal.
This is kind of a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Oh my God, if I don't have a donut, I'm gonna go into labor if I don't have a donut right now. I'm just fucking with you,
show
kid.
is that where like the woman keeps pretending to go into labor to like get out of things?
I don't know.
I think it might be Arrested Development.
That's awesome. So look, I have never eaten more than 2 donuts.
You lying sack of shit.
I have not. I am actually very scared of this type of thing happening. I feel very bad. So there's certainly like, I feel like a waiting rule of like, and 30 minutes is not long enough.
No.
Once the donuts are placed, it's like, it's gotta be a while
Yeah.
to come back and be like, okay, I'm gonna.
There was a rule too of the 2 donuts.
Yes.
It's like you got to follow that.
Yeah, if
I would at least be asking other people. I'd be like, hey, do you think I could have these other 2 donuts?
Yeah.
And also, I do think it's fucking crazy that he went and had the 2 extra donuts. Like there's 2 left, and it's like, okay, if anything, I'll take like half of one of these donuts, or I'll take one of the donuts. To take both and have a total of 4 donuts. I know you're 19, and at 19,
you be eating donuts, dude.
You're just gonna do it.
You're just gonna tank those donuts.
But like, just gonna fucking tank them. Sorry, lady, I had to fucking tank those donuts.
I had to tank those donuts, sorry.
But I also love like, whatever, I never eat breakfast.
That's so
it's so funny.
Dude.
No, you're
so
fine.
19.
Like, I don't do
I
that.
don't do that, so you must be.
So you're fine. Everyone's just like me. Have you guys ever...
with 4 donuts, it's like a chipmunk.
Whatever, I'm saving these for later. Some comments. Wants to be seen as not just some kid, but immediately runs to the internet to absolve him of any wrongdoing and tells his boss what he's doing. Smart. Bonus, you're the asshole to OP for attempting to get us on his side by mentioning his boss insulted Redditors. Everyone insults Redditors, including Redditors.
Right.
It's so true. No one disses Redditors like on Reddit.
It's like Weezer fans.
The comments, it's like Weezer fans. I feel like Weezer fans and Reddit have a
yeah.
good crossover.
Venn diagram's a circle there.
You're the asshole. Never eat the last available donut unless you bought them. Basic workplace etiquette. I've never heard that term. I would never touch the last donut in general just because I'd be scared.
Look, I'm not above taking the last donut.
But you wouldn't eat 4 donuts.
If I had eaten 3 and people were like, I'm talking like when here, donuts will last like well into the day.
Absolutely.
And like, if there's like a last donut, I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
Like if it was a fresh, like back at Defy when we would have those donuts and people would come in on Friday, every Friday. Do you remember this at Defy?
Yeah, kind of.
There would be donuts every morning, every Friday morning at Defy, and they would go so fast.
They'd be
and especially the blueberry one. And I would always get in.
had that.
I would always get because you were
So
late,
it's
son of a
gone.
bitch. No, because I would take it. Because I would at least take, or I would always take one there, but there were usually 2 or 3.
Would I be the asshole if I bought a dozen donuts and then I ate them all? Like I bought donuts, I bring them, I'm like, and I put on Slack, I send out a message to the whole company like, donuts in the kitchen, and then I eat them all.
That'd be awesome.
Within that time span of us walking to the kitchen,
You're
you're like,
gone.
oh!
And I'm like, ah! All right, here we go. Next one.
So yes, asshole, by the
Yeah,
way.
asshole.
Yeah.
Totally.
Hungry
But he's
asshole.
also 19, like, frankly,
Frankly, kind of a dumbass.
19-year-old guys. This is very typical. Like, I would never have said it out loud, but I totally at 19 understand the logic of like, so I never eat breakfast.
Right.
I
That's so
totally
19.
get that.
And
Like,
the funniest
it's an asshole thing, but I totally get it.
The funniest fucking part of that whole thing is like, do you want me to post this on Reddit?
Like,
We'll get someone with other opinions.
and by the way, she totally dissed you guys.
Yeah.
She said you guys fucking suck.
Ergo.
So funny. That's so funny. Okay. A cake eater discovers that his wife has also been eating cake. You're gonna find out what that means in a second. So there's a subreddit called R Cake Eater, and it is a sub for cake eaters. Not chocolate cake or cheesecake or any regular sort of cake, but people who want to have their cake and eat it too, who are in a happy marriage and not planning on leaving, but still have an affair just because.
Copy.
Yeah. So here's the first post. Calm before the storm. Tried posting a few days ago, but could not find post. Must be lost in cyberspace. Don't even know if this is the right forum at the moment. In gist, affair partner got served divorce papers out of nowhere 2 days ago at work. Her husband knows of us, me. It's only a matter of time before my wife finds out. Don't know if I have days or hours before the world as I know it is gone. Took some time off work to spend time with my wife and 2 daughters. My body is in turmoil, but strangely my mind is clear. It reminds me of the days leading up to my dad passing away. Time has slowed down and I am aware of all the things surrounding me. It's a nice feeling. My day-to-day was filled with observation of details and appreciation. My wife's smell and the clothes she wore, my daughter's laughter, the color of the kitchen tiles, the dog, the yard. Feel blessed to have a healthy and beautiful family. What will my daughters think of me? I look at my wife that I love with all my heart, and I see a woman who stood by me no matter what. We had our fair share of ups and downs like most couples, but I never imagined a life without her. How do I justify a 6-year affair? Is that even forgivable? I don't know what the future holds. All I know is that the storm is coming, and I am here basking in the sun until the clouds come rolling in. I plan to confess over the weekend. Even if I know the outcome, I pray she does not leave me. This was so fucking not worth it. Any suggestions on how to confess? How do you start? What do I tell my daughters? I have already made an appointment with a therapist. What else can I do? Wish me luck. Edit. Thank you all for your comments and suggestions. Some of them were hard to read. I don't have time to address all comments, but will reply a few to clear some things. Yesterday, I reached out to my brother for advice. He left his wife some years ago and married his affair partner. He seemed happy with her. The grass is not greener for him after all, and he is planning on leaving her, but it is stuck at the moment. His advice is not to tell my wife and to minimize it if confronted. He also said I should let down affair partner gently so she does not go nuclear on my wife and family. I am hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst. In the comments, people doubt that OP really loved his wife. He did cheat on her for 6 years in all. He responds, I am not confused. I never was. I don't have a problem separating love from sex. My heart is loyal to my woman, and she is for me. So many responses about how I don't value my affair partner. Since I'm on a pour my heart out roll here, let me tell you about my affair partner. She is a gorgeous and smart woman who is funny and open to different experiences. She is younger than myself and my wife. Fit, seductive, sexy as f***, but she is not my wife and does not even compare. 6 years on and off is a long time to invest. As I see it, she is an adult woman who made decisions to cheat with a married man on her husband for whatever reasons. Do I care for her? Yes. 6 years is a long time. Do I love her? No. Did I say to her I loved her? Yes, of course. I did, but I lied just as I lied to my wife. Did I use her? Yes, I did. Did she use me? Of course she fucking did. We both knew we were playing with fire. The reason I strayed has nothing to do with my wife. We have a good sex life in general, but I do have some kinks that she is not into at all. My affair partner was into the same kinks. That's how we met, and that is why the affair was ongoing for 6 years. What led me to starting the affair was my wife being in an accident that took a toll on her body. Sex was off the table for over a year. I gave in to temptation, and when I discovered the affair partner shared my kink, I was hooked. So all you people saying that my wife was withholding sex and intimacy, no. My wife and I are very intimate. Having sex with my wife is making love. Sex with a affair partner is just sex. My wife meets 90% of all my needs. My affair partner meets 10%. So he gets advice on whether or not to tell his wife. Most commenters tell him to come clean, but a few don't, including his brother in real life. So this guy's a real piece of shit. Unlike Am I the Asshole posts, you have people like, they don't, like they maybe know they're doing something wrong, but that kind of in their head they've twisted it. This guy is blatantly saying like, I've had an affair for 6 years. I don't think it's wrong.
Well, this is like years of acceptance with
years, and he's like, okay, like, you know, I guess I have to tell my wife. It sucks that I have to tell my wife. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
I mean, if you do something wrong over and over and over again, it's not wrong anymore. You're just doing it, right?
I guess that like he
it doesn't feel wrong.
This has become normal life for him.
Yeah, like someone who's constantly late. They don't feel like they're late when they're always late. You know what I mean? Like
he's so desensitized.
Yeah.
I think there's a okay, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that there is a psychological study to doing bad acts makes you like desensitized to doing bad acts, like, and it will make you feel less bad about doing it. Like it's kind of a retroactive thing of like doing a bad thing can make you worse unless you really actively like.
Here's the other thing.
That.
Here's the other thing. I'm reading a book on polyamory, and he wants a polyamorous relationship. And I'm not defending him, but we do not have a lot of research or tools to equip us to even have that conversation.
Sure.
And even sometimes starting the conversation of, can we have an open relationship, rips everything apart. Like even the start of it, because we're not equipped yet to be at a place.
No, yeah, people.
I totally understand that.
The lying is what
the issue is. The real issue is the lying.
Yes,
like
100%.
that's the real issue. Because there are people who are in polyamorous relationships, and that is totally fine.
Yeah.
Because there's honesty there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If two people meet and they go, hey, we both want to sleep with other people.
Right.
Totally great. If they're both like, yeah, great.
Right.
Like, awesome.
Yeah, he's like explaining the reasons why he's with her sexually, and that's not why we need the reason. We need the reason on why you're not talking to your wife.
No.
Right.
He could be.
Yes. Say that again.
We don't need the reason why you're sexually attracted to your affair or your partner. We need the reason why you're not telling your wife.
Yeah. Because she now for 6 years has been living in a lie and like not knowing. Like that's what sucks. Important thing to remember, the affair partner is also married. So yeah, to be clear, where this all started is the affair partner got served divorce papers. So she's getting divorced. And so this guy knows that this is about to like blow up into his life and everything.
What did he say? The storm is
the
coming.
calm
So we don't know the
storm.
twist yet. We don't know the twist yet?
We don't know the twist. So we just know that she's getting served divorce papers. And he's like, I need to come clean to my wife before this all tumbles.
And his brother's like, don't tell her.
He's like, don't tell her or minimize it. Which I'm like,
no, digging you in a deeper hole. You have to come full frontal clean, not full frontal.
I think, you know what I think it is?
You got to go full frontal.
You know what I think that this is that I really hate? I think this is what it is about the lying, is it's the most disrespectful thing you can do.
Yeah.
And like, there's a quote that I'll just say it. My mom said this forever ago, is that she was like, respect is more powerful than love. And I think that's true. Because I know like people talk about love, like, oh yeah, like love can go all over places, but like respect is such a choice. And he's choosing to disrespect his wife every day.
Yeah.
And like still,
Yeah.
and he's still going, okay, maybe I'll minimize it if she brings it up. He knows it's a big deal.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's like, but I'll minimize her feelings.
Right.
I'll disrespect how
Not
she
even
feels.
to mention the reason why they stopped being sexually active seems like an accident or like seems like a health thing.
Yeah.
That's really fucking sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, I don't know. He talks about like this all started with an accident to her that took a toll on her body, and it's like, oh, he acts like it was a tough thing for him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she also couldn't have sex for over a year. Like, bro.
He really doesn't want to lose his affair. Like
no, well, he's a cake eater. He's posting. He's posting on Cake Eater.
Yeah.
He posted this on. I think this was posted on Our Adultery, but it was reposted on Cake Eater, perhaps. The responses were posted on Cake Eaters. Okay, well, let's find out what happens. Do we want any predictions? I know what happens. I can't.
Oh my god. Okay, you want one guess?
You first.
Okay, I'm hoping that, I'm not even hoping that. I think, I'm like, they talked it out. They worked it out.
You think they're gonna work
Him
it
and the
out?
wife, yeah.
Okay.
The wife was like, I'm showing mercy,
Okay.
and
Or
I'm
he's
believing
like-
in us, and I know you.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God, I've never seen this grace.
He's
from
like, I'm
anyone.
with her because we both have the same kink and it's something so gross to the wife.
Oh, I
so
love
she's
that.
like, you know what? Take your cake and eat it too.
We fart on balloons.
Yeah.
She's like, but you should have asked. You should have asked because I
Should've
would have
asked
said
me.
yes.
She goes, I'm pissed, but I won't do rabbit stuff or whatever.
We dress
she's
up as
like, so go.
bunnies.
I
We
love
get
it.
in Easter bunny costumes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Or yeah.
Here we go. His next post is in the aforementioned Cake Eater sub, and it quickly becomes obvious that he did not come clean. First update. Never saw this coming. Throwaway, posted once before, check it for background. This is the sub I should be on. I was prepared for all scenarios, but not this one. The doomsday did not come in the shape I was expecting. A fair partner ended up convincing her soon-to-be ex not to spill the beans to my wife in exchange for a smooth divorce. I thought I was in the clear. Yesterday, a fair partner sent me a blurry photo of my wife in the car with another man. She claimed they walked hand in hand to his car from a store in a nearby town to ours. She got a shot of the plates too. After some digging, I now know she is having an affair. Don't know how long for sure, but at least 6 months. He is a single dad our age and is telling her to leave the marriage. She is telling him she loves him. Afraid to confront her. Feel numb at the moment. Took a day off of work. Any advice? I love her and want to stay married. Edit. Any advice on how to proceed? Should I just let it run its course and monitor? Should I confront and hope for the best? Should I confess to my affair and hope we all can come clean and make way for a new marriage? I am so fucking utterly confused. I have rehearsed the things I would say and do if she wants to find out about my affairs. I was not prepared for this shit. He manages to get a hold of his wife's phone while she's in the sauna and confirms the affair over WhatsApp. Logically, yes, we are both getting our itches scratched. What's the big deal? I am not ruled by logic at this moment. Maybe later, but now my emotions are overpowering every logic. Never in my life have I experienced this type of emotional and physical distress. I can't even think straight. Never thought I was going to bawl my eyes out and throw up on the carpet.
Oh, f off.
I am desperate to talk this out to know why this happened and how invested she really is in this piece of shit. If she is doing this out of revenge, maybe I have a chance, because if so, she does feel something for me at least. I can't imagine her being emotionless, throwing away our over 20 years. I know this woman like I know myself. Deep down she's hurt, but also so very stubborn and proud. I just want to know if she knew about my affair, why the hell did she not confront me? I would have chosen her over a fair partner in a nanosecond. And what the hell is she hoping to find with this douche? He is no better than me, sleeping
Shut
with
up.
Get him, bro.
Oh my God.
Get him, carpet barfer. Get him.
He is no better than me, sleeping with a married woman. I am trying to respect her wish to have some space, but I am desperate just to talk to her. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about being on the other side. Never had fantasies about my wife fucking other men. We had a good sex life minus my kinks she was not aware of, hence the affair partner. I am thinking, what do I have to lose? There can be only two outcomes. She loves him and she leaves. She loves me and she stays. I am hoping this is just a fling and nothing serious. God.
Wait, she asked for space? Did I miss that?
No, I think he's playing out scenarios.
Oh, okay.
Do you guys want to predict the next update?
Oh my God, there's another update.
This one keeps updating.
Okay, I will tell you exactly how I would do it. I would go to her, and I'd be like, there are 3 things we need to talk about. Like,
One.
Nope. It's a 3-step plan.
Oh.
You have to do a 3-step plan. In my head, you have to do a 3-step plan. Number 1, it's the hardest. It's the hardest part to get away. It's an umbrella. What do we think of having an open marriage? It's kind of hiding that he knows that she's having an open marriage, and it's bearing the hatchet that he's having an open marriage. What do we think about that conversation? That's the first thing we have to talk about, right? And the second thing is, okay, great. I have something to admit to you. I've been having an affair. That's the second thing, right? He's got to admit it. He's got to admit it. If they want to move forward, he's got to admit it.
Yes.
And then the third thing, if she doesn't come clean, he's got to be like, and I know you're having an affair.
Okay.
Right?
And let me just say, I think the sickest, weirdest shit of this all is how did his affair boo find a picture
Yeah.
of her in
She
a
snapped
car?
a photo of her walking with another
What do they live in, like a fucking 5-person town?
No, you can see somebody at the same grocery store and be like, who is she with
Can I
right
point
now?
out something though? Like, the issue is I see where you're going with that plan. It still doesn't make up for the fact that it's like, but also I lied to you for 6 years. And it's like, okay, so if you can lie about this, I can't trust you in any sort of sphere. It's like, can I trust you with money? Can I trust you with like my safety? Can I trust you? Like, that's the issue with lying. Is it sets up the precedent of like, like, I now don't know what to think.
He's got no choice.
And there's something.
He's got no choice.
Something small that he said that I think is fucked up.
That he barfed on the carpet? Yeah.
No, yeah. Never had fantasies about my wife fucking other men. He's only thinking about this as like, she can do this if it turns me on. It's like, but wait, if you want an open marriage, that's not about like
100%.
that. It's about like
you're
it's
so
an
right.
agreement. Like, no, it's like, oh, me sleeping with another woman is for my own satisfaction. I know it would hurt her, but whatever, it's for my own satisfaction. Oh, she can't sleep with other men because that's not for my satisfaction.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
right.
When you read that too, I went, what a weird detail
it's such
to mention.
Why'd you write that?
Why does
like,
this, why does this always go back to your fucking kinks, my guy?
Right.
Okay, any predictions? Anything.
There's
Okay,
another.
she's not in love with him. Or she knew. Or she knows.
Well, he was kind of saying that. He was like, this is revenge. So you think it's for revenge?
I think she knew a couple years ago and has since fallen in love, not out of revenge, but just because he's absent. And she's gonna leave his ass.
Let's see.
Okay. Second update. My marriage seems to be over. Confronted my wife this past weekend.
Confronted?
Sat her down without warning and told her I knew she was having an affair and with whom. Asked her if she loved him and what her plan was. She was caught off guard, went to the bathroom for 10 minutes. When she came out, she looked me straight in the eyes and said, I know about your affair too.
Yes,
Yes!
Sorry.
And then she breaks in a song.
I know about your affair too. I have known for some time now. I love him and I want a divorce.
Yeah.
Next days were a blur. I tried to talk to her, but she shut me down. She has moved into the spare bedroom and is making appointments with law firms. Has told our 2 girls, I have signed up for emergency therapy. Am on meds for dealing with anxiety and lack of sleep. This is surreal. Heard her talk to him last night and cut the internet cord. Kind of crazy because I need fucking internet for work and she just switched to her phone. Oh man, so many emotions are running through me. I love that he writes that out. He writes out, oh man, oh man. I made love to her past week, and today she is a total stranger. How does this happen? How can she not feel any fucking emotion? Over 20 years, gone. All the love, friendship, partnership, intimacy, jokes, memories, plans for our future, gone. Just like that, no looking back. Feel so blindsided, and the only person I can talk to is my brother, who lives across the country. Sorry to vent here to you fine people on here. Just need to get this out. He gets his ass handed to him in the comments, more or less. But I wanted to call out this comment. Made love to her last week. How does she not feel any emotion? This is simple. She has learned how to separate love and sex. She has sex with you, but loves her affair partner. You taught her well. Because, that's something he said earlier. There's some comments here. Anyone else notice that at one point he used to justify his affair was that his wife wasn't into his kinks? Then he goes on later to say she wasn't even aware of his kinks. This guy, man.
Yeah.
She doesn't even know he likes
she's not even
rabbit
aware.
stuff.
Also, that she was in an accident that f***ed up her body and meant she couldn't have sex for a while. Congrats to him on making her feel extra shitty.
Right.
It would be funny if it wasn't so f***ed up. I truly, deeply, and utterly cannot understand how someone is capable of functioning with this level of cognitive dissonance between his actions and his wife's actions. I don't get it. I really don't get it. How does someone cheat for that long and manage to be so angry about their be so angry about their spouse's affair? How do they not see? People are scary. Yeah.
I think this weirdly goes back to what you said about his view of the world. And his view of the world being that, like, his wife is having an affair and it doesn't even turn me on, is like a fucking psychopath.
Narcissist.
Like, he is a narcissist.
Roommate exposed us to toxic radon gas.
That's why.
Okay. I, a 26-year-old female, live in a 2-bedroom apartment with my 19-year-old male roommate. My roommate has a collection of clocks and old electronics he keeps in a case in his bedroom. I received my radon detector from a friend 3 days ago. He had high radon levels, 5 picocuries per liter of air, which I guess is a lot, in his house, but got it mitigated and now it's down below 1, and wanted to give it to me as he didn't need it anymore. I turn it on, and after the warm-up period, see that it's reading 224 picocuries, not 2.24, in the main room. I move it to my bedroom, close to his, and it's maxing out at over 500 in my bedroom. My apartment lobby reads at around 3.5. I did some research, and the radium clocks do emit radon, but not nearly enough to cause that big of a spike in radon levels. I questioned him when he gets back from work, and he panics a bit and tells me that he has around 13.5 millicuries of radium. He shows me the cabinet, and there's a vial of radium paint, a lot of shavings in glass jars, lots and lots of clocks and gauges, what he calls Soviet radium scales, old U.S. Army radium discs, and other items with radium. It's obvious how the apartment was contaminated, and I worry the radon is leaching into the rest of the apartments. He's been here and had his collection for over a year. Levels this high are basically unheard of and can cause cancer with ease. So I'm worried I might lose my life over this. Obviously, this isn't my landlord's fault, it's the roommate, so what do I even do here? Does something like this break the lease and get my roommate and all his radium kicked out? Can I sue him if I get lung cancer out of this? What is my next step?
Oh my gosh.
I think that'd be criminal negligence.
I think that's pretty bad.
Yes.
Are you, I don't know this stuff, are you legally allowed to own that stuff? Like,
Probably not.
I think criminal negligence is a great way to put it because it is not that hard to have not even close to that much radium in your apartment. That's a normal human.
Sometimes, I don't know, sometimes it's really hard for me. I open up cabinets, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to put my radium in here.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh no, I accidentally bought more radium. Oh no, oh my God, I bought millions of more radium.
Why isn't my Roku working? Oh, it's just a bunch of radium.
And he's 19. Obviously, I'd be livid if someone had this.
That's
Thank God
terrifying.
thank God she randomly got like a meter for this.
That's
like,
the universe
or she
giving
would
her
have
something,
never
yeah.
known. We have some comments here. He said millicuries and not microcuries. Are you sure? If it was millicuries, you need to stay far away from that cabinet if it's not lined with lead, including whatever is the opposite side of the wall. At that point, you're looking at a significant source of gamma radiation on top of the radon hazard. Does he have a Geiger counter? You need to report this stuff now. That's an absurd amount of radium to have lying around. OP responded, from my research, he'd be over 13.5 microcuries after his first 14 clocks, since it looks like each one of those is 1 microcurie. So I'd assume it's millicuries. Most of the items are in lead containers. He took them out to show me, which is how I know about the full collection. The clocks and gauges aren't, though. He does have a Geiger counter and told me the dose rate a foot from the cabinet is barely above background. Clearly the lead and plastic bags aren't blocking out the radon, though. Someone else, clearly there's a lot of experts here in Reddit. In legal advice, you have to put what state you're in. So someone said, well, you can call the Wyoming Department of Environmental Quality and or the federal EPA and ask what to do. Be prepared to move out immediately, as it's not far-fetched for your apartment to be declared a hazardous waste site. You are not going to be held to your lease if this happens. Do not suggest to your roommate that he throw this stuff out in the trash. You can't even throw out old smoke detectors, so the likelihood that he can safely throw this stuff out is 0. He certainly cannot do so legally. OP responded, if the apartment is destroyed by the radiation, will I be in trouble or will he have to pay for all the damages? Someone said, you are probably going to want to contact the Radiological Assessment Program, which is part of the Nuclear Emergency Support Team.
You know.
The Radiological Assistance Program is the nation's premier first responder organization for assessing radiological incidents. RAP advises federal, that's what it says, that's short, RAP. Local and tribal public safety officials, first responders, and law enforcement personnel on steps to protect public health and safety or the environment during incidents involving radioactive materials.
We need a tribe called Quest.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad we're here.
We need them now.
We need them here.
Oh my goodness.
So there is an update.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Here we go.
Let's go.
I forgot about this throwaway account. I figured I should update this post. The day after I made this post, I slept in my car. The next day, I went in wearing an N95 mask. I can't get vaccinated for medical reasons, so I carry them around to get my stuff and leave. 19-year-old man was gone. His radiation detector on the kitchen table. I don't know where he was, but I didn't care. Using his radiation detector, I was able to figure out the actual dose rate in my bedroom. 70 microsieverts an hour on my bed, 350 times over the natural background. So bad. Using some of the resources I was PM'd, I calculated around 1.1 sievert per year, adding up the excess radiation and the radon. Considering the background is somewhere around 0.005 sieverts per year, that's pretty damn bad. I then entered my roommate's room to document exactly what he had in case my landlord wanted to blame me. The radiation detector began alarming. I took pictures of the cabinet. When I placed the detector inside it, it went into overload, so I couldn't see the dose rate. For legal reasons, I will not be sharing the photos of the cabinet. Finally, I tested my belongings for radiation. While there was a slightly detectable level from what I learned, radon daughters decay completely after 40 days, and I never got a reading over 0.5 microsieverts per hour. So it sounds like her stuff wasn't too bad.
That's good.
I texted my landlord that I was leaving and terminating my lease due to the radiation hazard. Attached the pictures I took, grabbed everything I could, including his radiation detector. I shouldn't have done this from a legal standpoint, but I wanted to be safe, and left for my mom's place. I made it there safely and immediately showered. I don't know what happened to my roommate, and I don't care. If I was exposed to 1 sievert of radiation, which seems correct, I have a 5.5% chance of dying from this. I have a damn good chance of making it out alive, and that's what matters. I'm as safe as I can get. This will be my only update. Whoa.
That's crazy.
Holy
Absolutely
shit. That guy
absurd.
could be going to prison.
Should be.
Yeah.
There's no way all of that was legal.
How the f do you get that much stuff?
And what's the why? Why?
Yeah, why
You're
do
gonna,
you-
is it older?
Well,
this
that
is
guy-
gonna gain in value over time. No.
If that's her exposure, what's his exposure?
yeah,
like-
he's sleeping next to that.
Bro,
Yeah.
and he's like holding it and
Like he glows in the dark.
Yeah, for sure. Why did you think I specifically would know more about
I don't know. It's I just feel like you know random facts about like I feel like you would know like radiation. I don't know.
Well, okay, well then let's get into it then. I have some uranium glass. Uranium glass is known for being radioactive. However, the particles that it fires off more or less stop after about 6 inches and then like literally fall to the ground and decay. And mine is behind glass. Also, it is mostly radioactive when chipped or scratched or whatever. I have stuff from the 30s in good condition. It is well made, but it is probably more like radioactive than other things would be, so I don't drink out of it or anything. It is a nice little display. And yes, it's bright green and see-through. That's kind of cool.
That is cool.
But like a bunch of radium clocks, like I have a tea set. That's it. I'm all set.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Behind glass.
Well, this
tea set.
guy clearly he's a hobbyist in the worst way possible.
Yeah, I don't understand because all of this stuff is like, this sounds like the worst hobby ever.
Yeah.
Radiation aside, like it's like this is stuff that you can't look at, have to keep inside of a case. That could, well, radiation not aside, that could kill you. Like it's like I would rather have Legos that I can't even play with. You know what I mean?
This is like the inanimate object version of Tiger King.
So someone who works in this field in radiation, in a year will potentially get 50 microsieverts in a year.
How much did she get?
She got 70 on her bed. So she is getting more in a day than a professional gets in a year. That's rough.
Honestly, I think OP should be super psyched because she's gonna be She-Hulk probably.
The green part, I think it's some part of disclosure.
They said gamma radiation.
I know. Of course.
I can't not say
I thought of
something.
Hulk too, but it's.
Look, we're always thinking of the Hulk.
It's actually She-Hulk.
So we've now had 2 roommate stories where the roommate tried to kill the OP.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say tried.
Yeah.
Flashing someone doesn't kill them.
No,
No, the insulin.
No, I'm kidding. That was.
So, do you think Ninja Turtle radiation roommate is worse than insulin roommate?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because insulin roommate, one incident.
Both are idiots. It seems
Both
like.
are. Oh yeah, but radiation person, like they're doing this. They're a super villain.
It's awful hard to like give someone cancer. Like just like it's not usually like an action that you're like, I'm sorry, I gave you cancer.
Oh my God.
That's so true. It's like, damn.
Like the insulin thing sucks, and that's gonna cost money and time. It's gonna be a headache.
And it could have been bad.
It could have been very bad.
It could have been very bad. But this person did. It is.
They don't make greeting cards for
this
that.
This might be the only way I know of
sorry,
that you could do it and without someone knowing.
Yeah.
Like
this is
You Munchausen's by proxy cancer into your
gamma
roommate.
into someone.
Yeah,
that's
that's crazy.
That's wild.
All right.
I've been feeding you lead paint for years.
I know.
Nothing.
And it's delicious. Okay. Boy. Crazy stuff. On to the next one. Am I the asshole for getting annoyed that my girlfriend makes such hot coffee? And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
Let's go.
And it's silly time again, I think.
well, I gotta
hope. Before we get
judge
into
it.
this, how hot do you guys like your coffee?
I pour at 205 degrees.
I do about 204.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
You don't want it boiling, obviously, because
No.
that's gonna be bad.
But I
on the
do
beans.
sometimes have to let it sit for a little bit. I'm a little baby.
Well, this is a hot take, but I don't really drink coffee. I don't
What
really.
about tea? Do
Not really.
you do hot drinks? No.
Not really. I mean,
okay.
you know, I as a kid I grew up like drinking chai. Like that's what my mom would always make at home. But I was never like really needed. I never really needed caffeine, so I haven't carried it over
flex.
into a.
Okay, you're so cool.
Yeah, so I woke
That's
up
awesome.
like this.
Okay, am I the asshole for getting annoyed that my girlfriend makes such hot coffee? I, 32-year-old man, am a software dev currently working remotely, while my girlfriend works as a sales rep and doesn't have the option, so she goes to work. She doesn't have that option remotely. I usually wake up at 7 and start work at 7:30, while my girlfriend wakes up at 5. She usually gets a morning walk or yoga in, takes a shower, gets ready, makes me coffee and breakfast, and then leaves for work at around 7:45. The issue is that she makes really boiling hot coffee, and I just can't drink it at that hot. She has a much higher heat tolerance than me. Her showers are like bathing in the lava of Mount Doom. And I just think it's unempathetic of her that she only considers her tolerance. I asked her before if she could maybe make it at 5 or 6 and let it cool since she wakes up so much earlier than me. But she said she can only make me breakfast and coffee later because she has to get ready. I pointed out that it's a little annoying that she doesn't care about me enough to be a little flexible about her routine, and I told her that she doesn't need to get her exercise in so rigidly, that she could maybe make my coffee and breakfast earlier so that it could cool down a bit. But when I said that, she got really pissed at me and said I was super controlling. I am honestly failing to see where I went wrong, because I only got a little annoyed, and I was very polite and level-headed throughout the entire conversation, because I just feel like bouts of anger are unproductive to the discussion at hand. At the same time, though, she ended up telling her best friend, who told me I was a huge jerk for expecting my girlfriend to change her morning routine to accommodate me, but it's merely a small ask that shows she cares about me.
I literally like disassociated.
Yeah. It's so funny that hearing all of these, I think this one somehow makes me the most like flabbergasted.
Oh, well, we've had these types before. It's shocking how extremely common it is for men to be like, she needs to cook dinner sooner for me. She needs to make coffee sooner. Like, this is just such an inherent thing that the idea of making their own coffee isn't in the realm of possibility.
Yeah, that's it. Like, how does somebody type those words out and actually think that is okay? Like, am I the asshole for asking my wife to do whatever I want? Like, is what I hear. That is so ridiculous.
She is. He did say girlfriend, so there's a chance she could get away from
There's no way she's marrying.
She can escape.
There's no way she's marrying that child of a person.
I don't know why she tolerates this in the first place.
I don't understand. Okay. So I make my coffee at 205 degrees, right? I do the pour over and it goes in there, and then I pour like a little bit into a mug, right? And then I keep the other bit warm. I have a little seal on it, I have a little carafe, and put a little seal on it. And that coffee will go cold
so fast
within like 5 minutes. So it's not possible for that coffee to not be like still hot.
Yeah.
If he just leaves it in a mug for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, there's a comment. He wants the coffee to cool for 2 hours before he'll drink it. This is the dumbest post I've read on this sub. Yeah. He can't make his own coffee. He can't wait 5 minutes for the coffee to cool, and he took this nonsense to Reddit. Someone else has said, this is a man who has never heard of ice.
Yeah, or like if it
or like
really,
putting it in the fridge.
Put it in the
Seriously.
fridge. Yeah.
There are so many easier solutions than everything that he is proposing. I hate that he was like, she's so rigid about her workout routine. Because I guarantee you in another post, he's probably like, my girlfriend needs to change her workout routine because she's not hot. It is the exact same language that these men are using, and I don't appreciate any of it.
I can't tell you how common this shit is. I mean, look, in one of these Reddit story videos, a guy brought a cutting board. His wife was sick and in bed. He brought a cutting board to bed so she could cut vegetables.
Yeah.
I hope she took that knife and I hope she put him on the cutting board.
Did this. She was
like, here we go. Next story. Sucking your own dick doesn't feel good.
Wait. There's the tweet, or there's like the thing. It's like, sucking your own dick doesn't feel like getting your dick sucked. It feels like sucking dick. And for some people, like, that's their thing. And like,
so a couple months ago,
oh, there's a story.
So a couple of months ago, I found out that I was able to suck my own dick. And when I say suck my own dick, I don't mean simply licking the tip of my penis. I mean full-on deep-throating my entire cock.
Whoa, they're a pro.
When I first found out about this, I was so excited, and I immediately began sucking my knob. Though I realized it wasn't really pleasurable at all. It felt more like I was sucking someone else's dick than somebody sucking my dick. Don't get me wrong, there was some pleasure, but it was completely overshadowed by the feeling of having a penis in my mouth. I wasn't able to focus on the sensation of being sucked off since all the focus was on having an entire fucking dick in my mouth. It was a surreal experience to feel all my cock veins and stuff in my mouth. We'll probably cut some of this. It was a surreal experience to feel all my cock veins and stuff in my mouth, but it wasn't what I was looking for, you know? And no, it wasn't because my head game was trash. I actually became...
It sounds like it's because his head game was trash.
I think his head game was trash.
I actually became pretty good at dick sucking because of my special ability. So yeah.
That's my secret, Captain.
So yeah, sucking your own dick is nowhere near as... I love this as a TED Talk. So yeah. Sucking your own dick is nowhere near comparable to somebody else sucking you off. It just isn't as pleasurable as people make it out to be.
Who's making it out to... I've never heard anyone be like, dude, you gotta check this out.
Gotta check this out.
I think I'll just stick to jacking off instead.
Amen, brother.
So this... I guess this was posted a couple years ago, but I just saw it today. There's some comments. Imagine being this insecure with your sexuality. This feels good, but oh noes, I don't want to think of myself as gay. OP responded, I didn't feel good though. That's the point of the post. Don't get me wrong, there was some pleasure, but it was completely overshadowed by the feeling of having a penis in my mouth. It felt good, but oh noes, I can't get over how it threatens my tiny insecure masculinity. And then he responded, I just don't like the feeling of having dick in my mouth, okay?
Okay.
Okay? That's all he commented.
And he was gone.
That's all he commented, and then he disappeared. I saw that title. I added it once I saw the title. I was just like, that's awesome. I love that that's an unpopular opinion. Like, guys, unpopular opinion? Sucking your own dick?
I've never seen anyone be like, you have to try this on the internet. And I've seen people argue for everything on the internet. Like, you gotta
Right.
do
Yeah.
this, you gotta do this.
But I've never seen
anyone be like, dude,
No.
you gotta
gotta
get good
try
at this.
this.
Dude, you gotta do it. This is a 26-year-old woman. My husband, who's 29, is obsessed with my boss, female, who's 38, and it's all my fault. This comes from True Off My Chest. I started this job about 1.5 years ago. I can't say what it is because I want us to stay anonymous and our country is very small, so my boss would probably be recognized. The moment I started, I felt like I was in the right place. My boss, the owner of the company, is very cool and kind. She's self-made and she loves her job. She does a lot of the dirty work herself that bosses who have 30 to 35 employees wouldn't have to do. But she just loves it. On top of that, we have a 6-hour workday, our salaries are 20% higher than the market, and we have 7 paid vacation weeks a year. Damn. Her reasons? She appreciates us, and she's getting richer anyway. I was so proud of working with a woman like her, so I wouldn't shut up talking about her to my husband, especially in the beginning. My husband was as fascinated by her as I am, until he met her at a company party last Christmas. She must have been beautiful when she was young. She could have been a model. I think his fascination became a crush or an obsession, or maybe worse, love. Now he follows her on social media. Her accounts are private, but he stalks her with my account. He also follows the company Instagram and likes every picture she's in. He asks about her all the time. She's a very private person, but when her divorce from her ex-husband was finalized in the beginning of this year, we all found out because he started showing up to work. He owned half of her company now, and he started to try to make changes in our work hours and salaries. We found out that her husband had cheated on her with a younger girl who he also tried to employ in our company. She still works with us. She, probably lawyers involved, eventually convinced her husband to sell her back his share. We're still in this process now. My husband has followed all this, and he was so sad for her, and so angry. How could anyone do this when they had a woman like her? If it was him, he would cherish her, love her, blah, blah, blah. Who leaves a woman for a girl? I got very angry and told him that all men prefer younger women if they could choose. He laughed at me and told me only losers do that. The last drop was last Friday. We were out for a movie night and we saw my boss with a young man. He looked to be in his mid-20s. My husband lost it. He didn't know that she dated younger men. He wanted us to go say hello, but I refused and yelled at him to control himself because he looked pathetic. When we got back home, he was frenetically going through her social media until he found the guy and he sighed in relief. The guy was her nephew and we didn't see the whole company, but they were out with other family members. My husband was so happy, like a weight lifted off his chest. I lost it on him. I started crying and yelling and told him he was in love with her, and he was shocked when I pushed and kicked him out of the bedroom. I locked the door. He stood outside trying to calm me down, telling me he loved me and I'm his girl and always will be. Then he said something that ruined me even further. It's not like someone like her would look my way. I haven't slept.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
I haven't slept since then. Why is he feeling like this? Is it love, infatuation? She's too old for my husband, so what is it? And why would he think he couldn't have her? He's very handsome and still young. She should feel lucky that a young, handsome man likes her. And does he mean I'm less than her to accept him? Or is it purely her money and status? He refuses to admit anything. And what can I do now? I love this job. I love the benefits. Thanks to this job, our life has improved and we can afford more than just the necessities. I'm starting to hate my boss though, and I hate myself for idolizing her in front of my husband. Edit. Sorry this is getting longer, but I have spoken to my mother, sister, granny, and some friends about this and about what happened last Friday, and they all think I'm making a big deal out of nothing. So strange. So he's obsessed with her boss.
Yeah.
Fully obsessed.
Yeah, like stalker obsessed.
Like, yeah, and like looking at her phone to look at her social media. Any predictions?
Predictions of what?
What do you think's gonna happen next? Like, I mean, I know it's a weird. It's hard to predict on this one.
Yeah, because it's like, where does it go?
Do you think their relationship will survive?
No.
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 They rarely do.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them have at this point.
I think
he's gonna shoot his shot.
I was just gonna say the exact same words. I think he's gonna shoot his shot.
She's about to get married and he sends her a text at 6 a.m. They overlap.
Ooh.
I think he's gonna shoot his shot. She's gonna say no, and he's gonna go back to his current wife.
Okay. Update. I just found out that my husband, separated, is dating my boss. I don't know what to do. Hi. I'm in so much pain and I don't know what to do. I don't want to do something stupid while hurting. I got a lot of good advice last time I was here, so I don't know. Maybe you can help me out with this this time too. My old post is linked in my bio. I hope you read it before this one because I don't want to tell the whole story again. I went against my family and friends and asked my husband for separation. I felt like my heart couldn't take it anymore. My intuition told me that my husband wasn't all mine. This was shortly after the event at the movies. My husband was in total confusion. He said that I was making a mistake, making a mountain out of a molehill, but he moved in with his brother, however. We decided to start couples counseling too. It went well the first 3 weeks or so, but my husband became more and more reluctant to participate, and sometimes he just canceled on me at the last second. He stopped showing up this month, and he also stopped calling and texting me. I was even more heartbroken, but it still just solidified that my intuition was right and that I was doing the right thing, seeing that he is not interested in working on us anymore. I chose not to quit my job. I still loved it with all the heartbreak, and I really needed the benefits. Like I'm the only one I know who is having a 3 weeks paid vacation around Christmas and New Year. I never see my boss anyway, and she doesn't even know of my existence. My husband eventually stopped being active on Instagram, and I thought it was normal. We were going through adversities until yesterday, when his brother shared my husband's stories of the night. My husband was in a restaurant holding a woman's hand. I could only see her hand, so my husband has just blocked me and my family and friends from seeing his updates. I commented, "What the f***?" And this morning my husband called me. For the first time in months, totally scared and started begging. "Please don't ruin this for me. Please don't ruin this for me." I told him, "What do you mean?" He said, "Don't tell her about us." I never made the connection at first. It never even crossed my mind even. That woman in the picture was my boss.
No.
I started crying and screaming at him. How could you do this to me? How could you tell me that it was all in my head when it's obviously all over your Instagram? He said it just happened. I dumped him, and he was single and just happened to find her on Bumble.
No!
He begged me not to ruin this for him. She knows he's in the process of divorce, but she doesn't know that he already knew who she was or that she was the boss of his soon-to-be ex. They have been seeing each other for 6 weeks, about 2 weeks after I asked him to move, and it's getting serious. He begged for a good 5 minutes, telling me how he hasn't been this happy in all his life, and that I shouldn't ruin his happiness since, again, I was the one who ended our marriage. I have been crying since this morning. I don't know what to do. I want to ruin him and his happiness, but I don't know if I have any right to do that, and I'm so worried about losing my job. Please help. Edit for new information. Okay, my husband has been calling me nonstop, and I have now answered him. He is panicking about me telling her everything, so he begged me to give him the chance to tell her himself. His words were, "I never stalked her or creeped on her. I just fell for her and was scared that she would think I was creepy since you thought the same. Give me a chance to tell her the truth at my own pace so at least she doesn't think I'm a liar or a freak like you seem to think." He still swears they matched on Bumble. I didn't know what that is until now, but it is like Tinder. I'm just so devastated right now. He has no regard for me and my feelings. Everything he is thinking of is not to scare her away. When I told him this, he said that I was the one who left him. People fall out of love and that's okay and no one's fault, and that I was in the right for ending the relationship, but I was the one who ended it all the same. Don't hurt us and I promise to give you everything you want. She is happy with me, so don't hurt us. So, thoughts?
So he went up to his old wife and was like, "Don't ruin this for me."
He called her.
In regards,
because she commented, she
Yes.
commented on his Instagram, so he called her the next morning being like, "Don't tell her that we're getting a divorce."
Could you imagine commenting on your ex's photo with somebody else going, "What the f?"
No.
That is badass.
Because it's only been weeks that they've been broken up for.
The audacity of him to ask her not to ruin it for him.
I know.
No, that's crazy.
What? Of course she should not feel bad at all for ruining his happiness.
know.
That. She needs to save this woman.
I know.
She needs to save the boss from this crazy town motherfucker.
Are you guys visualizing who this boss looks like?
Yes.
Because I'm visualizing Jessica Rabbit in like a blazer.
Absolutely. I was picturing kind of Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, I love.
Yeah.
Okay. Any predictions?
Okay, it's gotta be that this boss finds out and is like, "You're a fucking creep. Goodbye."
I'm scared that
I'm scared that you're married.
Is he attractive? She's 29. He's 29.
He's 29, she's 38.
What do you predict? You know.
I've read, I know.
You know.
I think the boss is gonna find out. It sounds like she's such a badass woman. She'll put the pieces together.
I'm scared that he's gonna get to her first, and then he's gonna be like, "She's actually insane." Like, she's like on
like
meds,
the girl.
like gaslighter.
Oh, if I know the history of men, that might happen.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm scared.
Okay. Hi. Please see my previous post because this is just the update. I talked to my boss yesterday, Monday, after lunch. I told her everything. Basically how I was so happy I found this job, how I looked up to her and was proud to be working for someone like her, and that this rubbed off on my husband, who grew more obsessed with her each day. I apologize for using obsessed because I didn't know how things were between them, but that it was how I perceived his feelings. I told her about the day at the movie and how it basically made me realize that our issues were greater than I thought. I told her that I know and accept that my marriage is over and that my husband didn't love me anymore, and that the reason I'm telling her now isn't to judge or blame her, but to let her know the whole story because it's just fair that she knows what he has been following her life for over a year now. Because from what I understood from my husband, you are under the impression that you just matched up with him on a dating app, I said. She was silent the whole time I was talking, just listening to me until I mentioned the dating app, and that's when she interrupted me.
It's a lie.
That's not how we met. He has been a patron at my gym for the past 6 months, maybe a year, she said. I know her gym. It's the one across our workplace. She works out there every morning before coming to work. I didn't know he had joined it because I knew him to be a member at the gym near our home. He has been, without telling me, working out just across the street from me every morning without telling me. She looked like how I felt, shocked. I apologized and told her that he has kept dating her a secret from me and that he begged me not to talk to her, telling me that he hasn't been this happy and so on. She didn't say much, just thanked me for telling her. Today, she asked if she could talk to me. She apologized for everything that happened to me and asked if I needed any help. I said no.
Oh my God, I love this woman.
She thanked me again. When I got home, my husband was there. He had called me at least 50 times, but my phone was on silent. He was crying, calling me bitter and vindictive and pathetic. He said I ruined his relationship and future. She is scared of him now, and it is all my fault. He wants me to tell her that he is not dangerous, nor is he a pervert. He wants me to tell her that I was the one who wanted a divorce, and that people fall out of love, and it is nobody's fault, and neither is it creepy. He hasn't done anything wrong. He stayed faithful to me and would have stayed that way if I didn't kick him out. He asked me if I ever felt unsafe with him to make rumors about him being a stalker and a creep. I should tell the truth. I asked him to leave and that I'm starting the divorce, and from now on, he could only contact me once I got a lawyer through them. I have been crying since he left. We haven't even seen each other for weeks, and he had no feelings whatsoever for me. He looked demented and full of sorrow like a broken little boy. How could he change this fast? Before we separated, he held me and begged me to believe him and his love for me. Was it all a lie? My whole entire relationship? Good night and thank you for the support. This is a throwaway and I will be deleting it soon. I just thought I would update before doing that. Dude. Like that one, out of all of them, that's the update where I was like, oh my God. Like,
That's
he was
quite
literally
the update.
stalking
this
her.
was like, this is literally, I've never watched You on Netflix, but I'm
Yeah.
like, this is,
Oh, yeah.
this is some You territory.
It is.
Whoa.
That's to find out like your husband is like actively like stalking your boss.
Yeah.
Insane. Like,
Also, I love that throughout this whole thing, she's like slightly prioritized keeping her paid vacation job. You know what I mean? She's
Yeah.
like, I also
That's hard to find.
really don't want to lose this
20%,
job.
20%
also like
more
this
salary.
frickin' job is so good.
Yeah.
God, the friggin' like, we didn't meet on a dating app.
Yes.
I saw
that
that
turned.
coming.
He's been
Mala.
coming to my gym for 6 months. When they actively are members at a different gym. So he signed
Right.
up for that gym, which
2
means
memberships!
he found like that means he knew
He knew it was wrong.
He found out that means he found out what gym she
Yep.
goes to.
And bought another one!
And started going there.
Also, I love the boss so much.
The boss is
She said,
incredible.
how can I help you? She said, do you need anything?
And gosh, she must have seen like a shift in her face when he said Bumble, when she said Bumble, being like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the time frame too of it. It's not like, oh, we met at the gym 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's no, he started coming to my gym 6 months ago. So, or maybe a year. Like, so literally for a good part of their relationship, when he was like, no, you're being crazy, like whatever, he was active.
I love those moments when you're spilling the tea and then the other person has tea.
Like,
You didn't know the
It
tea
makes
was
it
coming?
tea-er.
Yes! That's so true.
Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for a girl's wig after she shaved it because of me? There's this girl that lives in my uni halls. We're not roommates, but we are flatmates. Let's name her Kaya, 19. I, 19. Both women, met her in September when we started university and moved into halls. We're not best friends, but we are friendly. We don't really spend much time together. Over time, my friends noticed that Kaya tried to copy me in everything. It started slowly, accessories and some clothes, nothing major. I didn't even notice until people started pointing it out to me. I have a rather distinct style and she started copying it. I don't own the style, and she's free to wear what she likes, but it's the exact same copies of my outfits, which is very odd. But then, it started going further. I dyed my hair, she dyed her hair. I bought something for my room, she bought the same thing. I started chatting with a guy, she became obsessed with that guy to a point that whenever I had a male friend or guy I was interested in over, she would go out of her way to try and get their attention, coming down to the kitchen in nothing but a towel. She never used to do it, etc. She would do anything to attract attention. Now, don't get me wrong, I couldn't care less if the guy was looking, and even if it was my boyfriend looking, I'd have beef with him, not her, but the blatant attention-seeking behavior was just odd. I joined societies and sports, and after she found out, she joined the same ones I did. Basically, everything I do, she copies eventually. It's just really creepy, but I haven't said anything. I wouldn't even know what to say. Over the Easter break, my friend and I were at my family house, a bit drunk, and decided to test out whether Kaya really copies everything I do. I made a point on social media about shaving my head. My friend does hairdressing and she helped me out by faking my shaved head, and I posted a photo with a shaved head. I deleted the photo a few days later and forgot about this whole thing. After Easter break was over, we had uni exams and I was focusing on that. Imagine my shock when I came back and Kaya had shaved her head. And she was pissed when she saw me. She started shouting how I lied to her, and why would I do that? She went on and on and on, really angry. Admittedly, I ignored her and hid in my room. She sent me a text telling me that she expects me to pay for her wig as it's my fault she shaved her head. I replied that absolutely not, that it was not my fault, and she decided on her own to do that. She kept attacking me over it every time I saw her. It's been a few days since I came back from Easter break. My exams start tomorrow, and yesterday I received an email from my university asking me for a meeting over the issue. She reported me to uni over something she's done. I am genuinely confused. Was I really in the wrong? Am I the asshole for pretending to shave my head and refusing to pay for her wig? What?
Whoa. What? This is just crazy enough to be real.
I think this is real. I think this is real.
To respond to that.
I don't fucking either.
Same.
Even Siri was like, I'm sorry, what are you guys?
I beg your unbelievable pardon, beep boop bop.
I mean, this is that movie.
Single white female.
Single white female.
Yeah.
This is like a classic movie trope.
I read a children's book that was like this. Like literally.
Single white female.
Yes. Basic instinct.
Holy shit. I totally believe like all the copying and stuff, like, because I've heard those types of stories.
It's more common than you think.
But it's once she did copy and it wasn't that she's like going out of her way to be like, hey, I'm fucking mad. It's like, you'd be like, oh, fuck. Like, that's where it's like she's living in a different world.
That's what's missing for me in this story. Not in terms of like someone's hiding something, but I want to know more. Like, it's all out in the open now. She is saying, I shaved my head because you shaved my head. So it's like, okay, so you have been doing everything that I have been doing. Yeah. There's none of that in there. Like, is there anything of that in the comments or?
Let's see. The OP didn't respond to any comments. One comment says, not the asshole, but I'd be nervous if someone was that obsessed with me. Like, I wouldn't feel safe around that individual at all. Someone else said, even with all the extra details, the meeting would be short. You posted a fake photo of a shaved head, and now this girl shaved her head. That isn't your responsibility. It's very creepy behavior and weird that she would report this. A normal person wouldn't. She needs help, and you need to stay away from her. Yeah, this person needs to get out.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that this person either has like an unhealthy obsession that's probably brought on by like some
there's
issues.
actual issues going on here.
Yeah, like unaddressed serious issues that's like, because it's more common. I get served TikToks a lot where like someone will find somebody who follows them on Instagram and is copying their photos and outfits and basically duplicating their account, but to their own people. Like, it's very strange.
This is a form of, I mean, this is really like stalking. Like, she is stalking her, and it's that kind of, it's in that category. in a way, her reporting her might be a blessing because this is going to put it on the faculty's radar, and they're going to be like, what the hell is this?
And that's the tough thing, because I want to sit here and be like, what? That's fucking crazy. But at the same time, like, we are all acknowledging, like, this is clearly a severe mental health issue. And that's the tough balance, because you want to call that out and be like, this is wild, which it is, but first we have to worry about the other girl's safety. Like, because I'm like, you are not safe in this moment, and I also want to take care of this other person.
Just attacking her every time she saw her, like, whoa.
This gets into the category of like, I wouldn't even say asshole. I would say like, this is one of those wild stories where it's like, oh my God. Like, and this is also a 19-year-old. Like, she's just fresh into the real world, probably doesn't understand her own mind, and this is all going on. This is deeply sad. I really like, my feelings aren't anger. My feelings are like, whoa.
Kudos to OP though for the whole like, the person showing up in the common areas like in just a towel to get this guy's attention, because I know in a previous episode there was a person who was shared in a shared dorm would just not wear a bra under their shirt and was getting shamed for that. And the girl who was pissed got pissed at her, not her boyfriend. So we got the better version of that in this.
That's what made me trust this narrator so much too, because she was just like, hey, I would have actually been mad at the guy. Like, it's not her responsibility, not her fault. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and how she's like, I don't own the style. She can do whatever she wants.
Yeah, she's done well, and this frankly didn't need to be posted on Am I the Asshole? Like, no one's questioning.
Am I safe?
Where along the line do you think the line was crossed? Because I think it was crossed before the shaved head. I would say,
I'd say like when it's like time to ask them about it, you know, would be the hair dyeing, because it's not like the OP had this hair color for a long time, then the asshole dyed the hair. It's like OP dyed their hair, then the asshole immediately dyed their hair the same color. Then I would have in a friendly way be like, hey, so you like the style? Like, what do you think? Like, I've noticed that you've taken a lot of my stuff. Like, what do you think? Like,
it's also, you know, she's not the one noticing it. Everyone around her is also like, hey, what's going on there? So it's like everyone in this hallway is going, we all noticed this. More people need to talk to this other woman.
That's
like,
true.
Hey, why are you doing this?
That's the tough part about this question, though, is because I don't think this is something that would generally come up in a healthy relationship of any kind, like when everybody is mentally healthy and safe. Because, like, you know, take you and I, for example, Shane, we're similar people in our humor, but, like, if I started switching to jeans and plaid and dyed my hair blonde, I wouldn't feel comfortable because I'd be like, oh, I kind of look like Shane now. Like, I would recognize that in myself, but I might see you wear that chain and go like, oh, where did you get that chain? Like, I asked you where you got that chain and be like, I kind of want one like that. Like, you can take little bits like that. But
Inspiration
like,
is one thing. But she says
duplicating
full outfits.
Yeah, if you had purple hair and tech wear, I think you would be aware that like, oh, I think I'm kind of doing this thing.
And if I was walking around going, do you know that I voice character in Fire Emblem?
You'd be just like Courtney. And that's the weirdest thing. I'd be like, Courtney, have you seen Shane?
Yeah. There are relationships where I have friends where we wear similar stuff. Like, Kiana and I both bought the same tank top on the same day, I'm pretty sure.
But that's you both at the same time being like, oh,
yeah,
this.
but like we have the same style and it's like, it's fun and friendly. I also, as a cast member, am conscious of like, I wouldn't want to chop my hair off and cut my bangs to be a centimeter long because like, we already have a person like that here. There's things that I'm conscious of. It really depends on your relationship with the person. And it doesn't sound like the OP knew the asshole very well.
No, she said they weren't really friends.
Yeah.
And it's also, it's the time period between she would change something, she would change something, she would change something, she would change something. And it was everything.
Yeah, I feel like I would honestly do the same thing that OP did, where it's like, I don't own the style. Who am I to be upset? Even if I naturally feel a reaction to someone copying my outfits and hair, that's on me. It's up to me how I choose to react to that situation. And if I wanted to ask about it in a playful, constructive way, maybe I could, but I think I would just pretend to shave my head.